Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my live reactions to the Weymouth Youth Wrestling Podcast, installment number 1. I don't know why you didn't just call it episode, but it's installment. I guess because you install it on your computer when you upload it to YouTube, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's a podcast thing that I'm just not understanding. But yeah, pretty much what this is going to be is it's exactly what it is. It's a podcast. Obviously watch a little bit of this because I tried to do this live reactions before, but then I had to go do something else. So I'm back doing this again. I mean, I only watched like the first, if even, 2 minutes of the video, so it's not like I've seen the entire thing. But I figured, I've been doing videos and stuff all week, so I figured I would, take a break. And this is a way that I don't really have to do a lot of talking. It's a nice, easy video. This is what happens when you try to go live. You mess up like all your lines. Feel free to leave you guys' comments in the comment section below. That just reminded me I have to, I always forget to do this now. I have to put this part into the comment section. Now, since this has been out a few days, I have to add this part. There you go. All right. Now that I did that, let me just get right into this. So, yeah, I don't know what this is going to be, but luckily it's a podcast, so I can just listen to it. I don't really have to do a whole lot of talking. I guess this is supposed to be like the pre-show of the episode 4. So let me just these are pretty much what the topics are going to be for this video, because it says right here, because it says it right there. We have Weymouth Youth Wrestling Gold Rush this fall, so pretty much everything that's going on with the Gold Rush tournament so far. Round 1, episode 4 predictions, which is going to be good for me because I'm doing a live reactions to episode 4. Thoughts on the GMs Markiplier and Cornette, and the future of WIW after Gold Rush, because that's actually a nice thing that they're going to do. They're going to do with the future. I don't know why this thing is like over 2 hours. I probably doesn't need to be over 2 hours, but I haven't listened to it, so I can't really say. But let's just get right into this. I'm going to connect this to my computer. Like I'm going to watch it on my computer and kind of have it just go right to my Xbox, because I'm going to connect it right to my Xbox. I just have to first sign into my Xbox account, which if you ever want to add me as a friend on Xbox, I don't really, plug it all that much. The account name is WrestlingFan44, but I fairly rarely play now. So let me just connect. I don't know if it worked. And it didn't work. All right, I'll just watch it. I'll just go like this. Let me just find it. Should be. All right, here it is. Let's just get right into the video. I just want to turn it down and make sure that's not too loud.
Without looking back on the past and seeing what got you to the band in the first place.
Hold on.
I think we should talk about what has happened thus far in the Gold Rush tournament. Before episode 4 comes out.
So what I hate about watching
Youth Wrestling. So
I just gotta go back to 0.
Ladies and boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the WIW podcast. We cover all things Ladies Youth Wrestling. Now here are your hosts, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, and the voices of Ladies Youth Wrestling, Jonathan Taylor and Nathan Jerome.
So as you heard, this is being hosted by Casey Gallagher, and the guests are going to be the commentators of WIW, Nathan Ferrara and Jonathan Caterer.
Weymouth Youth Wrestling Podcast. I am the wrestling encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, and with me are the two special guests, the two voices.
Obviously, I meant to mention this, that if there's something I want to talk about as this is going on, I will pause the video and talk about it. So I just want to make sure I mention that before I continue.
Of Weymouth Youth Wrestling, could you fine gentlemen please introduce yourselves?
My name is Mr. Excitement Jonathan Caterer.
And I'm the main man, Nathan Ferrara.
Welcome to the show, fellas. It's great to have you on the air.
I'm glad that you gave me a soda.
Yeah, seriously. No, seriously. Like, you have no idea, like, okay, I don't know if you guys could tell, like, before, like, obviously, if people have noticed, they're probably going to point it out at some point, but when Nathan and I commentate the matches, we lose our voice. Like,
Sucks.
it's horrible.
Sucks.
Like, we have drinks on standby, but, like, when some crazy stuff happens,
Which happens every time.
because, I mean, this is what happens when you have a freaking world title on the line, but, man,
Which I still say it's too early to be doing this stuff.
Unlike all the other promotions.
yeah.
Hashtag shots fired.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's just, when we have drinks on standby, but it's so hard to maintain a full voice throughout the whole episode, which I'm sure you can tell and a lot of other people can.
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah, trust
And
me.
anyway,
So, we are here tonight, after getting off of that tangent, to discuss the first 3 episodes of the Gold Rush tournament, as well as maybe drop a couple of hints at the future of Weymouth Youth Wrestling. So, fellas, where do you want to start?
I think we should start talking about the past, because Wise Man once said you can't really go towards the future without looking back on the past and seeing what got you to the dance in the first place. So I think we should talk about what has happened thus far in the Gold Rush tournament. Before episode 4 comes out, we will be live from Orlando, Florida on January 10th. And it's going to be...
This was uploaded on January 10th.
We got some matches on deck that we will be predicting. I think all 3 of us will. But first, I think we should talk about everything that has happened in the Gold Rush tournament thus far. I think we should start off with the first match that has happened. Victor Sagat versus Michael X.
what a match.
That was a spectacular match.
That is what defines the whole tournament.
That is how you start a tournament right there.
I mean,
Obviously, the first few matches for me are a little bit tougher for me to really comment, because it's been a while since I've seen those matches, so I don't really remember if I liked them or not. I probably remember I liked some of them because it had been a while since I had seen it though. So I won't really be able to comment throughout the first half of the video.
we know the condition. Victor is nursing a back injury still from that encounter. Fought with the back injury
All the way through.
Which
He Daniel Bryan the match. He
Yes.
just said, I have an injury, but I don't want to finish out the show going the way it should.
Mhm.
And it was incredible. What an incredible way that match ended.
Victor, my bro, hats off to you, man.
Yes. And obviously, some of the matches, I mean, we got to see what Victor Sagat is made of. Taking it to the limit against Michael X, a veteran of the sport for many, many years. And Victor just coming into his own in the last 2 years of the pro wrestling industry. And
It was just incredible. It was a great match all around.
yeah, we got to see amazing athleticism
They
of Victor.
destroyed the ring. And the
They destroyed just about everything.
We
Yeah.
like, if nobody understands, every single time we go to commercial break, we have to repair that damn table.
And I have no idea how you guys do it so quick.
I wonder how they do it so quick.
It's like we have a pick. No, I'll tell you what we have. I'm not even joking. Like, you think that's a joke, but we do. Like, there's a pit crew on standby when we're commentating the match to repair the damn table.
And to get stuff out of the way as well. It's just because there's by the end of the night, like, we have to kind of wash down some of the ring mats and stuff like that because it's just covered in blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
These guys go nuts.
It's absolutely incredible what these men will put themselves through just to get a shot
at being the first ever Weymouth Youth Wrestling Heavyweight Champion?
Because for 4 years we've been without a title. Yeah, for 4 years, me and John have been on the road commentating these matches. We know these guys. We know exactly what they can do. And we know the new guys coming in a little bit. But specifically, we know, like Mike Alex and I on the weekends, we hang out. We do things. When John and I aren't, talking about life.
I wonder why Nathan Farrar has messed up the name at first, and Michael X are hanging out together. It's like almost like they're the same person.
Dude, I gotta hang out with this guy.
It's funny. It's funny.
Most of the time we ask Sean Mammoth to hang out. Also says, thank you, but no thank you. I'm in the middle of doing some intensive training. This guy's always ready to go. But that's just an example of some of the guys outside of this.
Man, I gotta say, I am quite jealous of you guys. You are intimately familiar with these men and women. You have great games to call, and you've got the best seat in the house.
Yes, we do. That's very true.
No, the camera guys have the best seat in the house. So right there when the action happens, and the ones that get the shots ready to go. And honestly, that was the first career I thought about before going into the commentary section. I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to be the cameraman. And honestly, it kind of shows the first ever test match, because that was me trying to do the coordination, and we got somebody way better than I don't remember his name off the top of my head. We have a better choreographed man that knows what he's doing and knows what spots that need to be on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
Man, you guys got a pit crew. You got an excellent camera crew. You've got guys that make the entrances and matches look like $1 million.
And plus, we're the only company out there that can afford pyro. So
I like that they mentioned that they're the only company that can afford pyro, because no other company has pyro right now. WWE doesn't have it. TNA, GFW doesn't have it. ROH obviously doesn't have it. So I like that they mentioned that.
at the end of the day, it's really Jim Cornette doing what he's doing. He's given the funding and everything to do WIW the way that he wanted to do. He's the first one that's ever done it. He called me and John on the phone, and he said, listen, we got to do it. But, let me give my best on it. I'm really tired of you guys not being able to have a lot of fun on the ring and stuff like that. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to fix whatever bullshit you're trying to do, because right now you're not doing it great.
Yeah.
It's not fantastic. I feel like you could do a lot better. And, that's the end result.
Yeah, no kidding. Ever since Jim Cornette has joined in, and not even just Jim Cornette, but look at how we got into touch with Markiplier, which we'll talk about later on. But since he's joined the crew,
it's been incredible.
Holy crap, it's been
absolutely incredible.
So,
you guys have a stacked roster, and the not only the know-how to best utilize it, but the balls to be able to experiment and see where else these cats might be better utilized.
Now,
it's absolutely a win-win situation for everyone.
We've been around for the 4-year mark now.
Yep.
And I'm glad that we were able to do it in the 4-year time. It just gave us so much time. Everybody's all ready to go. Everybody's all pumped. We got one of the best medical doctors in the industry. It's shocking.
Yeah, no kidding.
What he's able to do. He's a master surgeon. But, we can talk about the crew all night and how awesome everybody is, but we're talking about what makes WIW WIW and why it is the best CAW league in the world, maybe one of the best wrestling promotions out there right now.
And we're not just talking about just the wrestlers. We're talking warriors.
That's absolutely.
I want to use that word very distinctly.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. These men are gladiators. They
see something they want, and they will fight till one of them is either unconscious or maybe almost dead.
And I don't know how they do it without killing each other, because I know some of these people really want each other off the face of the earth.
We'll discuss that when we talk about the match.
Yes, we'll get to that down the road.
But as we said, we talked about the first match.
Right, Victor Scott versus Michael X.
Which was incredible.
All right.
The second match is also fantastic as well.
Don't even worry about it. Light just went off. Don't even worry about it. We can still we still have talking powers.
Yep.
So
anyway, the second match, John, if you will.
Oh,
what are your favorite matches?
I think that this
It was a battle of tag team partners, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an incredible aerial display.
It showed how much people were willing to fight.
And it shows how well these combatants know each other. Because, again, a lot of these competitors have been here since day one.
Yep.
Michael X foremost among them.
The original 5 or actually the original 6 were Sean Maverick, Ian Lancaster, James Archangel, Michael X, Chris Phoenix, and Jones Meister. Jones Meister kind of went away for a little bit because he had
some stuff,
personal reasons, but now he's come back because he heard what has been going on and he wouldn't miss this for the world.
And on top of that, we also had Brandon and Eddie, who came in a little bit later. They were part of the Big 12 that showed up, but it's just been a fantastic ride so far because we just worked with some really good talent.
And it's been a hell of a roller coaster as well. Ups, downs, periods where the company was almost legally declared dead, and now
legally to the fan side. They, let's be honest. I'm going to be super honest. Not all wrestling fans are super right when it comes to something like a dead company because we pull out of the water.
Oh, absolutely. The Phoenix is rising. No pun intended.
Oh yeah.
But
no pun intended. Come on. But obviously, so let's talk about Chris Phoenix and Jones Meister. The aerial display, the martial arts,
they just each other
unbelievable.
And they tore it off.
Yes, they did.
They are a very popular duo when it comes to outside of WYW. They are fantastic around the world.
Yes.
You should go to any independent promotion and watch them wrestle.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you go. They could be. See, here's the whole thing. Like we told them that we're doing the whole tournament thing. Awesome. Don't worry about pay. We don't give.
Yeah,
we gotta pay you something, but they would just no. We want to compete. They'll fight from backyard wrestling industries all the way up to something.
And
like
that
this.
is a testament to the kind of men these two guys are. It's such underrated, under-promoted, just absolute wonderful company men. They will do whatever they have to do to make sure your company is number one. And we cannot say that enough about probably 75% of our roster, at least.
And it's, the end result is we got to watch two high flyers do their best thing. We got to see two tag team partners who the nickname was the Almost Cousin Alliance, and that's an inside joke that I'll discuss one day when we get the chance off air to talk about it.
Yes.
But
I am very interested to hear this story.
I will definitely tell you after go into this because it's really funny, but who knows, maybe I'll put it into a comment or something like YouTube or whatever when this gets uploaded. But the end result is this. They are so close. They've been together since they were born.
Yeah.
They've been best friends since they were kids. Their families knew each other. That's why they are the way they are. Yeah. They are literally cousins. In their minds, they are cousins. But to everybody else, not so much. So they just know the ins and outs. They are just fantastic together. And watching them in the tag team match is some of the craziest high-flying technique you'll ever see. These guys are so pinpoint accurate with all their moves. It's insane.
And a lot of the moves they're pulling off, especially when they're pulling ladders into the mix, it's like so little margin for error, and yet these guys come through smelling like a rose. I have no idea how they do it.
It's a lot of training. They've been training in Japan. They've done all the necessary training over there in the hardcore matches.
No question.
But a lot of the aerial skills are all from AAA. All their aerial skills come from the AAA.
Or Lucha Libre in general.
True.
I mean, anywhere that has a lightweight division. Because Chris Foster and Jonas, this is generally speaking, obviously, what Nathan said about most of the guys that are high flyers, but
Chris Phoenix and Jonas
got their high flying style from Chicago. And if you know Chicago, the likes of CM Punk, the likes of Cole Cabana, Chris Hero, lots of lucha style is embedded within that wrestling industry. If you don't notice it before, you'll notice it very much now, especially in CM Punk's early Ring of Honor days.
But in any case, we're not talking about CM Punk.
Yeah, no, I'm using him as an example.
I know.
Yeah, but we don't want to get too tangential here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the next match on the card, which is just...
John, if you would.
Go right ahead, man.
Oh boy. Matt Mann versus Ian Lancaster.
Oh man.
Like, I love that match. I sort of remember that match, but like I said, it's been a while since I've seen these. I can't really comment on the first
A little bit on the edge.
half of the video.
But these guys absolutely hate each other.
I gotta tell you guys, the first time I laid eyes on Ian Lancaster, I was a little bit unnerved because it was like the Joker was not quite done with his makeup, but he realized, oh God, I better get my next phase in motion, otherwise shit's gonna go straight to hell. But let's be honest, the guy can go.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
he can.
He is one of the best mat technicians.
And such like conditioning, stamina. I don't think I've ever seen such, willingness to continue when everything is against you and your body is just screaming, no, you idiot! What are you doing? We've got to rest and relax and heal up. Ian Lancaster just says, screw you, man. I'm doing whatever I have to do.
Now, he got screwed over pretty bad.
Absolutely.
Out of everybody in the tournament so far, he got screwed over pretty bad.
Yeah. Friggin'
But talking to Jim about it, there was nothing that we could do.
No, there wasn't.
There was no physical. There was no physical evidence in that ring of him ever showing up.
You have to use your imagination because the lights were all out. No one could see what the hell was going on.
Hell, even our own crew couldn't see what was going on.
And,
they were right there.
It's just it's a shame. I'll tell you that. It's a freaking shame.
But everybody gets their own at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we'll get to that later.
But again, Matt Harrington is just fantastic. He's an incredible mat technician. Those two are just great in the ring. That was and I would say that's one of the most technical matches I've seen when it comes to the first, what I like to call the first act of WIW, where we get into the beginning part of it, a little bit of what's going to be going on. But yeah, they definitely tore the house down. It was incredible. And then, of course, we get into the last match of the night.
Yet another battle of the partners.
And with a broken arm, a nice twist, I guess you could say.
It's a nice twist, but
Brandon and Eddie have an on and off relationship. That's the only real way that I can really put it. They
on and off.
Yeah, I guess you could say it like that.
Okay.
They have their moments where they hate each other for like 6 months. 6 months later, they're best friends. 6 months later, they hate each other. It's on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off. It's so strange. But when they're together in the ring, as a tag team or against each other, it's always interesting.
Yep.
Because Eddie was, when I first met him, he was a short, kind of chubby guy.
Now he's gotten.
Now he's gotten slim, and now he's got the speed and momentum that he needs to pick up rings. And it's incredible to see this momentum change in an athlete. It's fantastic.
Yep.
To see him go 100% to this match. And it's a shame that he's still in relatively bad condition. His arm was
he's getting better, and he's doing his best with rehab. It was and Brandon felt really bad after. He did not expect that was going to happen, but Eddie would not stay down. Eddie kept getting back up.
There was no
matter what Brandon threw at him, he kept going up.
For that match there.
And it's gotta hurt. I mean, even though they have this on again, off again relationship, it's gotta hurt. I assume they were on their on period.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that they're what I like to call awkward best friends.
Okay.
Where they love each other so much as best friends, but they can't friggin' stand to be in the same room together. If you can understand what I'm talking about.
I absolutely can. And when you are that close with somebody, especially somebody whose company you enjoy, even if only on an on-again, off-again basis, when you're on, it's gotta cleave your heart in two to do something like that to somebody you care about.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
I can imagine the tears on Brendan's eyes when he saw how badly Eddie was hurting.
I'm going to guess he's going to have a tough time.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's got to go through his next match with that still on his conscience. And
he's going to be distracted.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He definitely was distracted in the match.
It's upsetting because
but that's for the future. And the whole thing is that at the end of the day, he's going to constantly think about what happened when it happened.
Yep.
And there was no there. He could have said, I could have done this at this angle, at this angle. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell him, no, you can't beat yourself up, man. What happened. You can't. This is wrestling.
And even Eddie forgave him. Like he said, dude, I would not stay down. I wouldn't have done the same. I would have done the exact same thing to you if you didn't do it to me.
Just at a different angle.
Yeah, probably.
Into the ring, but
No, he would have. He would have, dude. Come on, let's be real.
Let's be honest.
If it wasn't to the ring, it would have been to the outside. He's right. I mean, they were competing for the world title. It wasn't tag titles,
Or at least a shot at the world title.
Yeah, they were competing for that belt. They've been fighting for this chance, and we finally got it.
Yeah, and then of course we have part 2 of Act
1. Right.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that. So obviously that first one was in Boston, Massachusetts.
We got home. We went homegrown. We went straight to the garden. We had a lot of fun.
Straight to the garden. That was an outdoor arena, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, no, it was.
Oh, it's because I thought that there was a roof and then we blew it off like in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't. That
was an outdoor arena.
Right. That was not. That was not the garden. That was
absolutely correct.
That was at Harvard University Field.
Yes, it was.
On the other side of the river.
Yes.
I think Nathan Flaw messed up right there.
It's kind of weird, actually, because
I think they follow us. It's really freaky. But hey, you know what? It's like ECW. They have their legion of fans. We have ours.
Yeah, and that's how all upstart companies begin.
Country to see us.
Yes. Okay, into episode 2 of round 1, coming to us live from.
I understand. Coming to us live, we were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ah, yes.
The home of the mighty Penguin hockey team.
Yes.
I'm a hockey fan. Enjoy hockey.
Nothing wrong with that.
I enjoy wrestling a little more.
No question.
That's why I'm a commentator. But
I want to say also the second, or the first really, home of Extreme, which was the ECW, which even Jim Cornette would have been a fool not to mention, and I think we realized that he actually mentioned it, which is kind of ironic because Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman, we know, don't have necessarily the best relationship.
But even Jim could even agree that this is kind of
yeah.
This is where a lot of stuff kind of started. This is where barbed wire baseball bats became a thing.
Yeah. Hi, Barbie.
Which, if anybody ever asks, hey guys, would you put a barbed wire baseball bat? No, we're not giving the athlete. Listen. These guys break guitars, crutches, chairs,
title belts,
bats, ladders, tables, trash cans. We're not giving them a weapon that they could light on fire.
Yep.
We're not going to give them a weapon that has serrated metal on it. No way.
Yeah, no,
not a chance.
And that will never be.
Especially, like, Jim Cornette was, like, not even budging when he decided this.
Yeah, and I can understand why. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, I like
baseball bat was enough, he said.
I like me some blood and guts in my hardcore matches, but even I think the barbed wire baseball bat was kind of pushing it. Yeah. So I can understand why Jim Cornette made the call that he did.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we already have enough people. Trust me.
Right. It took convincing 5 athletes to get the baseball bat.
Yeah.
Because they said, "What's a wrestling match?"
And one of them
baseball bat.
And one of them
not baseball.
And one of them is basically Sting, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was an aluminum bat. We have a freaking Louisville Slugger.
We got a wood baseball bat.
It's ridiculous.
So there's the risk of splinters as well in all this?
Well,
probably.
Well, let's get on to that first match back to.
Okay.
Of Act 1, Part 2.
Yes, we will talk about that. Johnny Starr versus Little Andre.
That was a match I couldn't have predicted if you told me.
No way.
I had no idea that ending was even going to happen.
We all thought, because of just the...
Don't remember this match at all.
Yeah.
Breaking them, beating them.
Johnny would not stay down.
It's that hard determination, man.
He took pump handle tosses through ladders. He took super kicks into ladders. He took
A-bombs into tables.
He took an A-bomb onto a bat and a sledgehammer simultaneously. He would not stay down. He took an elbow drop through the table, as you mentioned. He took everything.
Just wouldn't stay down.
would not stay down
Dude.
for the life of him.
Well, to give a little backstory, if nobody really knows anything about Johnny Star, who he is, and everything.
Who knew green-haired elves could be so badass?
I knew you were going to go there. But he's a graduate of the Hard Thunder.
Okay.
He's a graduate.
Okay.
The very last graduate of the Hard Thunder.
Okay, screw you, Tyson Kidd.
The end result is that at the end of the day, you can see a lot of his training. He decided to go outside of the States.
Yep.
You can see a lot of his moveset, a lot of specific moves. But the crossface was something very specific, and I don't know why he picked it. I still, to this day, don't know the full story of it. I've asked him hundreds of times. I'll tell it to you one day. He never gave me the story of it. I couldn't figure out why.
Well, I mean, at the very end of the day, I mean,
It's an incredible.
whatever it is, whatever the story is behind it, he used it and tapped out the tank.
Tapped out one of the hardest to tap out there. People in the entire day.
And for that, I gotta give him props. That had me on the edge of my seat, especially towards the end.
Yeah, I think what really did it for Andre was, and I think we can all,
Being him instead.
not all that, but I think we should all agree that I think the Maggie Daddy mindset was at his detriment. And I think
If he was focused and made sure that every single move, because you could tell with a lot of his moves, he wasn't hitting 100%.
after that last Avon, and I would even say really the pump handle slam, or the pump handle toss rather, through the ladder, he did that twice. Then he wanted to punish him more by going to the top rope, and that's what did him in.
Yeah.
And he did that numerous times in the match, where he hit the A-bomb, where he hit everything. Everything but the kitchen sink this dude hit, and he would not go for the cover. He would not go for a
He
submission.
was too focused on trying to.
I don't even know. Carry out Mark Young's mission from it almost looked like from Test Match 17, wasn't it? Like he just wanted to end Johnny Star, which I screw it if I know why. I don't know what their issue is.
I think the end result is that in order to be on top, instead of their mindset of working hard and trying their best to doing every possible thing that they can do to achieve their goal, they instead would rather cheat and find methods around what they're doing. And it's kind of upsetting, actually.
Yeah.
Because I would absolutely 110% prefer if they just wrestled like it was a wrestling.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to find sneaky, hidden ways and all this other fun stuff to get around it. And it's kind of ridiculous, actually.
I agree. I also agree. I mean, yeah, I would not blame little Andre for taking a shortcut or two, because do whatever you can to win, but don't end a guy's career just to use him as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just straight up jabroni-ville, even for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. What, you cold or something?
I got a phone call from the office. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. No problem. Go for it. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll talk about it a little more, obviously. But Johnny was able to tap him out with the Canadian crossface.
And God bless him for being able to do so.
Yep, absolutely.
Canada was in a state of joy that day.
Yeah, no kidding. It was a great day for Canada.
Absolutely.
But after the match, just kept assaulting him.
Yeah.
Just kept attacking him.
I kind of remember this.
Not Johnny Star, but he was the one getting his ass kicked. But until Kyle Weaver and Jason G run down for the save and, chase off Andre.
And thank God they did, because had they not, I don't know if Johnny Star's still walking today.
Yeah, I agree. And,
Yeah, I remember this. I remember this was a great angle that they set up.
About as well in his match with Jonathan Brady,
But
yeah, he'll be taking him on round 2. It was just a really, I would say, just a pathetic. First off, it was poor sportsmanship.
Oh, loads of it.
Not to mention, he was already trying to end the guy's career in the freaking match. So
no one ever accused the Mega Daddy men of being good sports.
no freaking kidding. But yeah, I would have to say, it was a good match.
It was an excellent match.
It was freaking fantastic. How's the phone call? Who was that?
Jimmy boy.
Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Any more announcements he wants us to make?
Yeah, seriously, he's calling us in the middle of the podcast.
Come on, Jimmy Cornette. You know better than to call people doing a podcast. Come on.
Thank you.
He enjoyed it a lot. Said if that one guy.
Yeah, can you tell this motherfucker to get me some damn vinegar? Seriously, or something to help my throat and soothe it so we can commentate the match effectively? I can get you some honey drops. Something.
He expected you to say that, and I'm going to only quote him, you know me. Only quote him. Stop being a bitch and suck it up.
Come on, Jim.
I can get you
Gotta-
some honey drops.
So if you
Gotta take care of your commentators, man. They're gonna lose their voices, and you don't have good commentary to commentate your matches. Come on.
It was a great show. Everybody enjoyed it. The ratings were really good.
Yeah.
He just hopes that we can get higher ratings every single episode with
And-
anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
But in any case, we're moving.
We were just talking about the end of the beatdown at the end of the first match of episode 2.
Yeah.
We talked about the poor sportsmanship, obviously.
If you want to talk about it, you can give your thoughts.
All I'm going to say is the Maggie Jenny.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
They're all like that.
Especially their leader, who we'll get to at some point in the future.
Oh, yes. Next match. John, you know where we're going.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen.
Mr. Caterer?
Well,
Johnny boy, come on, man.
oh boy. Jonathan Brady versus Brett Mention. What to say?
Freaking, that's an incredible tactical match.
It was.
It's brutal, it's technical, and they did a fantastic job hyping the crowd up, getting everybody on their
Obviously, I think there are five spots that happened in that match.
Yes.
Which no one can believe even happened. Jonathan Brady gets DDT, it was Jonathan Brady gets DDT'd on the ladder and steps right at the beginning of the match, like Brett mentioned, and then he goes and hits an unbelievable.
John still has a concussion.
Yeah, no kidding. He's feeling.
How's Brett doing?
Brett's great.
Brett doesn't give a shit. I can't get in the hold of that guy. Dude, literally, the name unknown is not what we pick. It's who he is. You try to call him on the phone to see what's up, you can't. Unless he specifically knows who's going to call him at what date, he'll pick up the phone. Never picks up the goddamn phone.
He
have to ask him
answers me
questions about what
once.
he's trying to do.
He answered me one time, and
In 4 years!
Yeah. He answered me one time, and it was like pretty much right after his match. And according to what he told me,
Yes.
he's okay. And
Then
he's
he hung
good
up
to
the
go. And that was it. I'm like, 4 years, and those are the words he speaks. Not hi, not how's your day? Oh, what kind of coffee you like? No, just yeah, I'm good. I'll
Wow.
I mean, that dude's all business.
One time in 4 years, and he doesn't even say 10 words to you?
Nope.
It's
Man.
because he's a very, like,
Now you know how Nathan feels around girls. No, I kid. I kid. I saw him at a bar with a very nice young lady a couple of days ago.
anyway.
He said it on. Whoa!
I'm kidding. I'm not a pedophile. Oh my God.
I hope you're
Well, thank you for running with it, but damn.
Dude, if you got a joke that's really good,
I hope you would know. I hope you would run with that because that is bad PR.
That's
Dude.
how you get blocked on YouTube. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway.
No, unless you take Paul or Logan Paul.
Yeah, anyway, we're not talking about the Pauls. We're talking about a Brady. And we're talking about a mention. Just to mention the Brady. Oh my. Anyway.
Unintentional pun is unintentional.
Oh, yeah. That match is just brutal. All the way around. And I always have this one question for John, and his answer is I totally forgot what type of match it was until they packed up all my stuff about the back. I asked him, it's an Extreme Rules match, right? Yeah. Why do you keep the helmet on? His answer. It was exactly that. I forgot it was an Extreme Rules match, and it was too late before they took all my stuff back. Regret stuff.
That sucks. Huh?
Yeah, doesn't it?
Probably would have won too.
Probably
headbutts, man.
Yeah,
I don't know why he brought the football helmet in a wrestling match. I mean,
as a weapon. I told him he could have used it as a weapon at the start of the match.
I don't know.
That would have been the best weapon that he could have used.
I asked the same thing in my review. What does Jonathan Brady do in wearing a football helmet? You know, when he could have just whacked the guy off the head.
He's got a hard head, but he ain't no coconut head.
Yeah. But anyway, John, obviously that was the first part, wasn't it? DDT of the steps and ladder.
Oh yeah, like it was just.
The next was the twisting suplex that Brett mentioned has into the ladder, which did not get him the 3. Then the gut wrench power bomb into not only the apron but onto the ladder as well. That was freaking absurd.
That's probably a good way to sum up most of the matches that have taken place thus far.
Yeah,
absurd amounts of punishment.
And let's talk about the biggest spot of the match. Brett mentioned literally bounces off the ropes, gets a full head of steam, runs up the ladder. We're talking about a linebacker here. We're not just talking about a high flyer. We're talking about a linebacker, and he flies through the air and hits a spear through our announcer table.
It was incredible.
I was seeing this.
That was one of the best moves
behemoth of a man flies through the air and spear Brett mentioned through our table, and all I could think of, oh God, I'm going to
Would you like to hear
brown pants factor sky high?
Yeah,
hear what he said?
Kidding.
Would you like to hear what he said? I have this text.
Yeah, please do.
Because you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, John? My head still hurts after the spear to the table. Why is that? I forgot that I was running up a ladder and the altitude of that spot. When I hit the spear, I by accidentally smacked my head in between the rim of the table.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Are they trying to make John look like he's an idiot though? But I don't know what they're trying to do with Jonathan Brady.
He says, the next minute I realized I was looking up in the air.
Oh my God, Jonathan!
And I was getting pinned.
Jonathan
He
Brady.
blacked out at that point.
Good God.
He blacked out right at that point. He said he woke up after the full hammer to the head.
Oh my God.
Sir.
Oh my God, Jonathan Brady, man, you seem like a sweet kid, but dude, get yourself some warnings.
His buddies Chris and Owen. Owen's got sunglasses. Chris is a franchise. He has a helmet. He didn't wear the helmet in the Extreme Rules match.
Seriously.
You know, I hear that Owen Finch is like one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world. He's gonna be like the main events of every WIW. I hear he's fantastic. And Chris is a franchise. He's gonna be the next big thing in WIW.
He is a genius. There's no doubt about it.
Owen Finch is a fantastic talent. He's gonna be main event quality one day.
But
that's beside the point. I mean,
and that ending moment of the match, that shot was so loud. I could hear it from commentary. The sound of that elbow hitting right dead center of his forehead.
Oh man,
insanely loud.
That was
It sounded like somebody took like a cookie sheet and banged it off the table as hard as they possibly could.
And it was loud through the entire arena. I was there for it.
I thought the crowd was going to go silent.
Oh, wow.
The crowd's roar, if you cut the crowd, had an editing guy do it, cut the crowd out, that thing was so loud that you could hear the echo from the rafter. Wow.
It was
when he was doing the lighting from above. You hear the friggin' echo from the rafter.
And knocked him clean out, and
there's no way to get up from that.
No, not a chance in hell.
It was nuts. It was a amazing match, and if you want to see technical wrestling and high octane innovation, that match is the one you want to see, because these guys pulled some stuff out of their ass that I've never seen any wrestler do in their lifetime.
And then we have the next match.
Oh boy, Nazareth Smith versus Matthew Nova.
I'm going to quote one of the great reviewers that we have, Mr. Russell Finch, 44.
Oh.
Finch. moonsault at the 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 moonsault. That's what that entire friggin' match was.
The sad part is she signed.
Casey, can I get a trunk beat with that? Moonsault at the moonsault.
Oh, they quoted me.
Moonsault at the moonsault at the moonsault at the moonsault at the moonsault.
I'm never gonna live down the moonsault after moonsault thing.
Unbelievable. The sad. Hang on, Mr. Gator. Hang on, Mr. Gator. Nate, the sad part is you sounded just like Owen. You kind of did. Well, that wasn't a compliment.
Dude, no, next day he sees you, he's probably gonna be freaking looking at you like, dude, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
He's gonna look at you. I am going
Nobody
to
can catch me.
punch you.
Man.
Alright, anyway.
Nathan Flaw is my least favorite commentator of all time now. He's a terrible commentator.
Anyway.
Never gonna talk to him again.
Okay.
Anyway, and I'm talking about like awesome gingerbread cookies. Man, sweet ginger. No. What we're talking about here is one of the best high-flying matches you're going to see in any company around the world.
Yeah.
Because these guys were full octane. These guys were going into maximum goddamn overdrive the entire friggin' match.
Yeah.
And that ending moment.
Yeah, I'm never gonna live down.
Moment, when that huge pop from the top rope hits the ground on the death row. When you hear the
But yeah, I did get a shout out on this podcast. That was awesome.
He sounded like he killed him.
Matt and Azareth
That's
would
awesome.
not stay down. Neither one of these guys. And these guys were hitting moves on chairs, ladders, tables, everything that you can imagine. And neither one of these men would stay down.
No.
It took a super move from the top rope.
He's only pulled that out twice.
He has.
And that move, he says, I hate doing. I hate when I have to pull that thing up because it requires all my upper body strength. And then as soon as that sudden drop hits, he thinks he kills somebody. He goes to his head for himself. Just kill him. Now, let me know, he's done that only with the ladder. And he says, I'll never use it with the chair. Or should you, as I would love to say, he will never use it with the steps. He knows he'll kill somebody.
Yeah,
It's one of the most brutal moves in all of wrestling history.
it is. I mean, we've seen people take the move, obviously. Razor Ramon, when he first invented it and called it the Razor's Edge, but that dude never did it from the top rope.
Never.
And there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
He almost killed him.
Yeah.
Could have, but the end result is he's so pinpoint accurate with those drops. It's insane.
Yep. I mean,
No matter how heavy the guy was, we have one pre.
we can talk about let's talk about the first spot, obviously.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
with that. Because Azareth lifts up Matt Nova, and they're on the outside by this point, and there's a chair just in between the steps and the floor. And it's at an angle, and Azareth smashes Matt Nova's head, and the back of his head hits the chair and breaks it.
One hit.
It was ridiculous.
And this is a man who's fighting for redemption as well as a shot at that title.
Yep. Well,
Azareth lives, and people can ask, yes, I know what Azareth lives like. He lives up in a cabin in the woods by himself. He doesn't bother anybody. He doesn't use television. He reads books all day.
Yeah.
He's not a vegan. I asked him that because I felt really bad when I brought him some kebabs.
Yeah.
Really bad about that. And John can even tell you that he's very stingy when it comes to meats.
Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But to begin with, he's a sweet, nice guy. He just doesn't bother anybody. He minds his own business. He's the scariest son of a bitch I've ever had. Let me put that on there. One of the scariest bitches.
Does he ever take that mask off?
Yeah, he's had hit the hair in the ponytail. We've seen him. He's taken off.
Well, I mean, he's taking the mask off, and then he has the face paint, obviously.
He's taken the face paint off. We've seen him without the face paint with his hair back. He just looks like a normal guy. He doesn't bother anybody. You can put him in the crowd and nobody would ever notice him. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, obviously, we talked about Test Match 20, and the stare down between Azareth, James Archangel, and Michael X. And
It was just that moment that
we knew what this tournament was going to be after that.
Azareth, James, and Mike trained together.
Yep.
They've traveled across the whole friggin' world together. They've had matches and matches and matches. And Azareth is not one of the original 12, like everybody thinks he is. He was an addition, and he was recommended by both James the Archangel and Mike, but Jim had no idea what to do with him. So, match for him. James
I mean,
sure,
yeah. And
that match is still brutal to watch to this very day.
Yeah. A lot of matches.
It's incredible to watch.
And
it's just so damn brutal.
If you did not know what Azareth could do before,
I probably will start watching some of the WIW test matches, doing some reviews of them and stuff. I don't know when that will happen, but it will happen eventually. Maybe I'm just not exactly sure when it's going to happen, though.
Matt held his own relatively through most of the match. He had Nova Bomb after Nova Bomb, that freaking high-octane kick that he has.
But it just didn't matter. Every single thing that he tried, he just did free.
Absolutely. And the moonsault off, as we mentioned before.
It was incredible. I've never seen...
I should have mentioned that moonsault after moonsault quote. I should have known that that was going to get used in this podcast, but...
Yep. And that proves that WIW has some of the best high flyers, match technicians.
I remember really liking that match, though.
Ring experts.
And that match kind of started, you know, a quote by me that I'm never going to live down.
A small item in the ring and they'll hit it every single friggin' time. You can put a quarter in the center of the ring and they'll hit it and I'll drop on it all day.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Matt Nova had just as much chance as anybody, especially because of his ring skills, to be a fantastic champion, heavyweight champion, whatever. But that night was just Azareth's night.
And it was. It's because Azareth has a little. That's fresh.
He is. Obviously, he has won Canadian gold before.
Yes, but he's not traveling around the world,
winning world titles all over the place,
and it's kind of scary.
Yep.
And then we get on to the.
That night, James Archangel versus Luke O'Lucky. Man,
Luke's a new guy. Luke's completely new.
Like, he's never. I don't think he's.
I thought that was in the first episode, but see, it's been so long since I've seen these episodes. I don't remember.
He was a complete rookie and made an impact.
Dude, give it up for the new guy.
Luke O'Lucky is what I like to call a dive bar fight.
Yeah.
What I do feel bad about is with the James Archangel Luke O'Lucky match, I think I was so burnt out from like all the other matches on the show. That match kind of, you know, couldn't really live up to expectations, which I kind of felt bad about. But, you know, stuff happens. So, yeah. But, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
I went to a dive bar, you know, have a few drinks. And if anybody tries to have a problem with him, he just starts punching their heads in.
Yeah.
And he'll keep punching their heads in until there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And he's a scary dude. But he's one of the funniest sons of bitches you'll ever meet.
Really?
He is one of the funniest guys you will ever meet.
Gosh.
He can tell you stories upon stories all day long. He's got one which I love so freaking much. Because I walked into a bar and there was 3 guys. By the end of the night, there was 2. Because I punched the other one out of the door.
No, the best one was
that's an Irishman story for you,
dude. When he honestly, like, I'm a huge fan of James Archangel. I'd say it.
He's incredible.
I wonder why Jonathan Cater likes James the Archangel so much. I wonder why.
I probably shouldn't be a mark.
But listen,
But I am.
behind the desk, we're not supervised. Okay?
or at least you try not to.
We try not to.
But with James Archangel, man, he had a tough task. First off, I want to talk about the promo he kept before because, oh man, Luke O'Lucky. Oh boy. He goes and said, this dude, I don't know if he's crazy or just trying to make people laugh or what, but he goes up and looks to the Lord as he's like, I don't think you know. when we Irish men are born, we are taught to talk to God, and then he just looks up into the sky and he was like, "Yes, Father."
And he walks away for a few seconds, and he comes back.
He literally walked out of the shot, and he's just like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll tell him." He was, you know what he was looking at too, and this is off center because he demanded it to be that way. It was a freaking rosary bead.
He's insane.
Rosary bead. He's like, "Yes, Father." Just a one rosary bead? Yeah, just one rosary bead. He went over there and he's like, "Yes, Father." Okay, I'll tell him. And then, you know, he cut the whole ridiculous, "Oh, well, say, God's on my side, but you're fucked."
And
okay.
And let's be fair, Luke is just, he's got the rookie thing. He thinks he's a lot of talent. But he actually showed he is. He doesn't give it.
Yeah, he did.
It was incredible. I would have to say it's one of the best matches on the card so far when it comes to that round, because it's a mixed bag. You have high flying, you have technical wrestling, you have brawling versus luchador skill and ability. You have drunken fist boxing mixed in with Japanese style high flying. It's insane. It's all over the damn place, and it's great.
It was a clash of styles, in every sense of the word. I mean, if you wanted to see it first off, also a clash of personalities. The humble Archangel
the humble God guy
versus the unhumble Irish Catholic. Let's be real. The brazen Irish Catholic. Yes. Mm-hmm. It was funny, and it was also a spectacular match.
And to think, that's when he's sober.
Oh God, I don't know if I want to run into him when he's drunk.
It's way funny.
We're talking about the Dublin press through the table. Holy crap! He brutalized him. Man. He also hit it on the steps. James Archangel literally was taking abuse from this guy, and then it just came to a point where James Archangel had no choice, and to finish the match and finally put Luke Lucky down for good, had to hit the damnation bomb onto a ladder that was in the upright position where the support beam was right there.
He had no choice, man. Luke would not stay down.
Man, a guy like that, willing to put his body through that much and still come out laughing, that man's going to go far in this business.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, he will.
He's already asked, since, he's not doing much right now, he's going to the Michael X gym, which is honestly just his garage. It's just his garage.
Michael X must have a big damn garage.
It's pretty small.
Hey, this is where John Gray went, by the way. John Gray went because he's never really hung out with the guy.
This is where you train.
And this is when Michael X was going through his rehab phase after Mark Young brutalized him the first time.
In match 13?
Yes.
Because the man, when we were later able to talk to the doctor about the situation, really upset that we didn't have a guy cool what was going on. We found out by the doctor that he had a 3-inch shard of glass shoved into his leg, into the part of his knee, one of the joints. And to this day, I still don't like Mark. Mark has tried to be a friend. I still hate his guts. I think that's the cheapest way to win a match. And it put Michael X out for a while. It put him out for a couple test matches, and it was kind of upsetting. But
he was out for 4 months. Right.
And he was able to recover and do everything he has to do. And John thought he was trying to help him, but it was the other way around, because John realized, wow, I'm not this great fighter. And training with Michael X, he was able to, build up the character and build up everything he wanted to do. He was able to, train in actual boxing.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's like if you graduate from the Michael X gym.
I never really thought of both James the Archangel and
training with Michael X?
Lucky or whatever his name is match. I don't really remember now. Yeah, they were pretty much about the same character. They were both, at least from Irish descendants. One was actually Irish, and both were Catholic. So, but they were kind of like the opposite character at the same time.
There's only one person who's ever seen him without the mask, and that's his fiance. Yeah. She's the only one that's ever seen him without the mask on.
So I have to talk about Azareth right now.
Like photos of him, nothing without his mask on.
What I do like about this,
it really is.
podcast is it's not just talking about like the matches itself. It's kind of explaining everything that has like a hole in it. It's explaining the characters. It's explaining how WIW sort of won without giving away anything else. So I do like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, definitely. This is a public service announcement by Radio Massasoit. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Texting on your phone while you're driving. You don't think there's anything bad that could come about it?
Guess this is a commercial.
Just a simple text, right, that you're sending out to a friend. What happens if you hear this? That's you in a car crash. Pretty soon.
They're trying to do an advertisement for like a car crash and stuff, but it's really kind of tough to do it if you can't see it. Kind of like one of something you have to see.
This public service about texting and driving was brought to you by Radio Massasoit, where success starts here.
Now we get on to the new episode.
Oh,
Episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. This is after a while.
I want to see how far into this I am.
This was a barn burner.
Oh, it's almost an hour into it, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about now they're going to talk about episode 3, so these are going to be matches I remember more. I remembered some of those matches. I think the match I remembered, obviously, was Azareth. I don't know why I keep calling him Aerosmith. Azareth versus Matt something. I forget his name now off the top of my head. And Lucky Oh Lucky versus James the Archangel. I remembered some of the Jonathan Brady versus somebody else match. Oh, Brett Mention. Only reason I remember that because that's kind of an easy name to remember. And then I remembered the Little Andre Johnny Starr match. But these are the matches I remember more because I actually just saw this episode, I think a couple of weeks ago now. I feel kind of bad because I didn't really put any effort into that episode just because I had a lot of stuff to do that day. So now that I'm all caught up with everything that it comes with, WWE at least, I'm at least, more comfortable. I'm probably going to upload. I'll probably start doing the live reactions to episode 4 tomorrow. Just figured I'd do this first, so let's just get right into them talking about episode 3.
Let's start with the first match. What I like to call the giant fight. This is what happens when you have a Colossus fighting a Colossus. A Titan versus another Titan. The Greek god fighting a Greek god. It's Poseidon and it's Hades and Zeus fighting. And it just doesn't end. Yep. And this match is what I like to call what big guys can really do. Yep. This is when you give two big athletes that have athletic potential, that can move and have a good stamina build and everything, and fight.
Yep. God, Ori Dre and Sean Maverick tore it up.
Yes, they did.
Ori forgot he was fighting Sean.
Doesn't surprise me.
Absolutely forgot he was fighting Sean. Sean is an awesome guy. He's a very well-determined individual when he has his mind set to something. That promo that he cut, I swear he barely said it. Well, he said it was exactly what he wanted to say. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to hurt somebody. I'm going to hurt them, and I'm going to like them.
Well, hello, U.S. Marine.
Yeah. Yep. He loves what he does, and I'm glad that he's in this company. I do not want him anywhere else.
He's become hugely popular.
Oh, absolutely. When we got the chance to get the fan reaction of that whole thing.
That match alone was a star-making performance for Sean Maverick.
Sean has always been this big guy. Him and Brandon have one of the most popular matches on DailyMotion.com. Yes. One of the most popular matches. Because it's so friggin' brutal. All the way through. He was able to take a what would you say, 220 plus pound guy.
Yep. With ease.
From the Titantron to his chest, was able to get up and throw him around somewhere.
Absolutely.
man, guy like that, combined with the performance he put on in this match with Ori Dre, the Bad Omen, I would be shocked
The Bad
if
Omen,
this
all
man
right.
never wins a world title.
I will be shocked as well. This guy is fantastic.
This is a guy.
Love him.
This is a guy that, if you know anything about running a wrestling company, you have got to put the title on this man at some point in his career.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I think the end result is that Sean showed exactly his colors. He showed that he bleeds red, white, and blue, and
No
he showed
question.
that he doesn't give shit.
No, he does not. He will take as much punishment as he needs to. And the same really can be said, I mean, maybe not the red, white, and blue part, but as far as taking the punishment,
The same can absolutely be said for the Bad Omen.
yeah.
And it was incredible.
Holy crap.
There was so much transition of moves, but the one thing that everybody thinks about is Sean's 12 gauge. That custom emerald fusion that he does, because he gets a little bit more height, and the drop isn't more to the shoulders. He just drops you dead center of the head.
We gotta talk about some of the things that have happened in this match. Obviously, when Rory started, he grabs a title belt from the fan and just wails. I mean, I've never seen so many forceful title belts. On top of that, the torture rock water slide that he did, and he makes the crutch go flying when he slams Shawn Maverick onto it. The force of that slam provided something like that, and I said it on commentary. I didn't even know what the match was going to be like in the next few minutes at that point, and then it just got even more brutal. When they and it got even worse when they got the steps and the ladder involved. We oh boy, just looking back on it, it's kind of giving me like
I think,
because I'm actually shivering because of how bad. How incredible it was, but also how
How much of a beating these two men dished into each other.
I mean, we saw a muscle buster on the steps. We saw a German suplex on the steps, both by Shawn Maverick.
Didn't we see a 12 gauge on a ladder?
Yes, we saw the battle on the slam. On the corner of the steps, and oh man, that was bad.
we saw Sean lift this poor man and drop him head first right into the ladder.
To which the ladder goes. I've never seen anything like that. I don't think we'll ever see
The ladder
like that again.
The ladder goes flying clear out of the ring.
You're talking about the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
You're talking about the wheelbarrow. I'm talking about where he lifts him straight up into the air and drops him head first between the support beam and the top of the ladder.
Right. But I want to talk about that wheelbarrow face.
That was incredible. That move, I've never seen that ladder go that high.
The ladder goes flying clear out of the ring. I had some people do some calculations on it. That was 12 feet in the air at its highest point.
So that means he had to hit him with almost 400 pounds of force.
And these are two strong guys.
Sean is way stronger, though.
No question. I mean, that goes without saying. But then let's talk about how Ori then fought back. He then fights back. He gets up after that hellacious move and then does a double choke suplex. And Sean goes back first and smacks off the ladder. And by this point, we were still in awe of what we saw with the ladder flying in the air because of Ori's face hitting it. But the guy would then fight back. And he just suplexed him. Suplexed him through this ladder so many times, targeting that infamous back supporter Shawn Maverick, by the way. He just kept attacking it, and he almost got him.
Now,
many times.
You know what nobody talks about, though?
We got to talk about one more thing, too.
Absolutely.
And this was towards the beginning of the match, too.
That stare down.
That stare down and into the punch. Let's talk about also how Ori, very clever. You wouldn't know it by looking at the guy.
No, you wouldn't.
He goes and takes a crutch, and Sean's got a whole thing of steel steps in his hands. And then Ori takes a crutch, throws it with pinpoint accuracy on Shawn Maverick's head. Shawn's dazed, doesn't know what to do, and then he stun guns him into a back suplex on the steps that Shawn Maverick dropped. It was brilliant. It was freaking brilliant.
It was fast.
Like, it was like fast thinking by Ori Dre.
Clearly, this is a man who is quick on his feet.
Absolutely.
And quick and very quick-witted, both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You saw some quick thinking by both guys in this match.
It's
You
just
saw Ori Dre.
doesn't have
He goes and tries
to book in his locker room constantly. But if you go to Sean's locker, that book has highlighted pages, has a highlighted friggin' list on it of what each individual thing means. He has a book next to that book that he keeps all his notes in. Like, he's a master of the concept of war. And he is fantastic to watch in the ring. That little scar above his eye is because of Brandon. That scar going straight down on his eye, that's because of Brandon.
Absolutely.
Do we want to know how that happened?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, you watched the match, man. It's
It happened way after.
He gets a thunderstruck onto a steel chair, and the support beam took out his eye socket, and we didn't notice that at the time.
Well, it did take out his eye, but what it did was give him a pretty bad friggin' gash on the head.
Yeah, and so it was
Busted
like,
open pretty bad.
so he had to get stitches for it, and he turned out that it was because he was blind from that. And he was a war soldier at that time. He was currently anywhere specific, but he had to. Yeah, he was on leave, and he couldn't return back, so he was back into WYW. And he was now WYW full time. Originally, it was part time, and oh boy,
scary friggin' man.
We'll talk about, obviously, one of the other spots that I want to talk about before we move on is when Ori Dre tries to go for a clothesline, and Shawn Maverick just tosses this man. And just about almost as high as how he had the ladder fly earlier in the match.
Tossed it like he was nothing.
Yeah, like a rag doll. Yeah. It was insane. I've never seen a capture suplex with that high of elevation in my life. And then, obviously, we talk about the Bad Omen Slam on the front of the baseball bat. Again, another quick thing by Ori, where he has him in a schoolboy, but then releases the schoolboy and hits the jackknife right after. Another brilliant move by Ori. These guys, maybe two of the best big men in this entire industry. Just from this match. It was a star-making performance for both guys. The ending sequence obviously comes when Shawn Maverick takes a steel chair, concertos Ori Dre into the apron. Then he hits that 12 gauge that Mike talked about, that Nathan talked about earlier. And then he hits the Anaconda of Ice, which is to finish it off. It was brutal, man.
And Ori was tapping out as he should.
I remember too is that that's their first meetup.
Not to mention also the concerto with the ladder onto the chair too.
We need to remember that.
Not forget about that.
We need to remember though, Ori and him, that's their first time meeting. I'm scared of what the future holds with them. Because they obviously have some type of beef.
What beef? I don't know. I guess in like
whatever's
you're
left
trying to be the best big man. Whatever flesh is on of Ori Dre's face is on that ladder. Yeah, probably. But
busting up bad.
Yeah, no good.
Sean got busted up pretty bad in that match too. I saw.
Sean's used to that though.
Well, yeah, that's true. But still.
When Sean gets busted open, he gets scary, and then he gets even angrier.
He goes.
It's actually a bad thing when he busts him open. I don't think Ori remembered that because he kept trying to bust the guy open.
Sean's always hyped himself up for a match. His adrenaline's like at a good spot where it should be.
Yeah.
And then you bust him open. He goes into what I like to call a blood rage. He gets really pissed off. He gets really angry.
Yeah.
And for some reason, this man can take a friggin' beating and go, I'm going to kick out now. I'm getting really tired of your bullshit. I'm going to kick out now. He's kicked out one. How many times?
And this is because he's busted open and he's just like,
he's pissed.
He sees red when you bust him open.
That is an ECW mark if ever I heard one.
I know
that guy had to grow up on ECW.
I don't know if he grew up on ECW. It may have been just because of war. It may have been because of something. Whatever it
was. He's just never gonna end it.
It's just he keeps going and going. And once you bust him open, he's like the Energize Bunny.
You beat me to it. Damn you, Nate.
I also said it too. Why is it just me? Come on.
He was the first one I heard say it. Sorry, Johnny.
It's just beat him and he just keeps going.
It is true. It is very true.
It's a good example is like a Komodo dragon. He takes the first bite at you, and he'll stalk you for hours. He'll wait for the perfect time when you're at your weakest moment, and he'll just get you off your guard, fight you down.
Yeah.
He will continuously beat you down all day long. He is a scary man to go up against. You know, I'm glad he's in WIW, and I don't have to deal with him on some crazy straight alley somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he probably killed me, the guy next to me, and the bus that I got off of.
Probably would.
Now,
Probably would.
that was a great match, but the second match.
Oh boy.
Second match.
From
Okay.
the Seaside, it was Zach Karasaki versus Austin Watonski.
This is a
Oh, now I'm going to unplug my computer for a bit. Okay. Yeah, so overall, I agree with most of the points they said. It was tough to me to get into the match. I'm not really going to get into why it was tough for me to get into the match, but it was. Won't get into why, though. If you know me better, you would know why it was tough for me to get into the match. So, yeah. But anyhow, so these are matches I remember more. But yeah, like I talked about before, Sean Maverick I think is awesome. I think he has a great character. I love his entrance, and he just looks like someone that would kick your ass. And I love his promos. Obviously, I saw his promo when he that he cut when they went through all the guys talking about how they were going to win the tournament, and he was. Other than Owen Finch, obviously, but he was one of my favorite promos, Sean Maverick. So I thought he was great, and I hope he makes it far. The final should be Owen Finch versus Sean Maverick, or he should at least make it to like the semifinals or something. Obviously, I'm picking Owen Finch to win the whole thing. So if Owen Finch doesn't win the whole thing, I boycott WIW.
Japanese only match. This is incredible. These are two American citizens that have battled so long in Japan. They had to relearn English.
Yes.
They had to relearn the basic language of English all over again. And it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic setup of matches. And I was very shocked by it. I was expecting so much more. And I got exactly what I could have paid for. It was good.
I mean, do we need to talk about how many that rising sun from the top of the ladder by Zach?
Oh, absolutely.
A staple of that match, and how beautiful that looked.
When you look at Zach's body frame, look at the high flyer body frame, there's a wrestler like one.
Now they're talking about match number 2. I'm not going to say the guys' names. It's like Zach Kurosaki and somebody else. I don't even remember. I don't really want to say the names because I know I'm going to mess them up. So I'm not going to say the names.
Austin's incredible. Zach is also equally incredible.
So yeah, I'm not going to say the names.
These guys have fought in so many matches. Have battled each other in so many.
But I did like how they knew each other. I like how a lot of these matches are former tag team partners, and they're putting aside their differences to want to become the first ever WIW World Heavyweight Champion, or whatever they're calling that belt.
An incredible sequence of moves that he's been in that match.
Oh, absolutely.
We got to talk about obviously that Tatsumaki,
the Tatsumaki Senpikaku, the whirlwind hurricane kick. That's not me saying it. That's him saying it. He's a huge Street Fighter fan.
No kidding.
And of course, he names one of his moves off the Street Fighter, which is a famous move by all the Shadow characters in Street Fighter, like Ryu, Ken, and everybody else. It's the same fighting style. Then all he uses the hurricane kick.
Freaking weirdo.
Wow, that was not me saying that. I'm biased here. I'm biased here.
And then he'll totally kick your head off. But
yeah, no kidding.
But the end result is the altitude and height that he had. He hit that kick dead, pinpoint accurate to the head.
Yep.
It was insane. And when that hit, I wasn't expecting it. You weren't expecting it. And the front row was definitely not expecting it. When that whole friggin' hit, it was incredible.
We got to talk about some of the red endings on kendo sticks too. the red ending.
Of course, the Kendo stick was when the first one was pulled out too.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's can we talk about your comment? How about you stop being ridiculous with your one-liners?
Okay, give me a good example of one.
Let me see. It's like when Zach Mayer grabs a guitar from a fan and then...
Come on, Jonathan Cato. Nathan Farrar, I love his one-liners. Come on. Jonathan Cato is just jealous that Nathan Farrar is the best commentator in the wrestling business. Even though Nathan Farrar and I... Jonathan Cato, maybe Jonathan Cato should come up with some better one-liners himself. Maybe he needs to start working on that.
Yes.
Why?
Because
it is racist.
The amount of blood that was shot into the friggin' air from that guitar hit, dude.
Didn't you get some on you?
No, that
was from the Showman. I forgot about that.
I had to physically change my clothes in the locker room. Yeah, before the next match.
You literally had to wash over there.
I had to physically go in and I had to get a swab done because I didn't know what was on me. That's scary shit, dude. I don't know what was on me, so I had to get checked, and I'm all good.
Anyway, back to Austin Zach.
Yeah. Obviously, the rising sun grew the table.
That was incredible.
Not even just that. That's not the only thing that was it. We go and there's Austin's climbing up and knocks Zach off the ladder. Zach lands on his feet and then Austin hits the coup de grace from the top. Oh my God. What? Like that was nuts.
Monitor.
That double knee stuff is great.
Monitor.
And then we got to talk about the knee strike that Zach hits after tossing Austin off the ladder, and then he runs off the ladder that's hanging off the ropes after he knocks it down, and bam,
knees right in the head,
right in the knee, or right in the head with the knee, and then that's when he does the guitar shot where you say that. Really
oh my gosh! See if this Weymouth Youth Wrestling is in the house. How is that possible? I'm watching their podcast, but yet Weymouth Youth Wrestling somehow commenting. I guess they're doing two things at once. I knew this was going to happen, though, that if I tried to say the guys' names, that I was going to get corrected, and that's exactly what happened. We have Austin. So I'm going to Austin. Yeah, he's just correcting me on one of the guys' names. I should remove him for that, but I'm not gonna because he can just come back because he has 2 YouTube channels. But yeah, Weymouth.
I'm never gonna put the points down on him. That was a great display of 2 Japanese athletes. Agreed.
But yeah, it's Austin Wittinsky. Wittinsky. I want to call him Austin Wittinsky because it says Sky, but it's not gonna happen. Weymouth Youth Wrestling said he's just trying to help and he's laughing at me. I don't know which guy on the roster this is because there's like 20 guys on this roster. I don't know if it's
God knows how many years out of the American independent circuit. The legend of New Japan.
But right now they're talking about Takamichi Inuka versus. I'm gonna mess this up. Chris Foster, I think his name was, but because I wrote in my notes, Chris Foster. I'm gonna look at that because I think I messed up on the notes. Yeah, I wrote the sophisticated Chris Foster, but I think I was told I messed that name up. But I don't recall I don't know what I said. If I said like Jack Foster or something. Well, we said he's the guy in the red hood. Weymouth Youth Wrestling says that he's the guy in the red hood. I don't know which guy in the red hood that is, but is this Jonathan Caterer or Nathan Farrar? Is this Casey Gallagher? I know Owen Finch isn't there because he's busy doing something right now. Is this Chris Dodd? Is this Jonathan Brady? Is this Sean Maverick? I know this isn't Sean. Oh, it's Austin. Uh-oh. He's not going to be happy I messed up his name. But anyhow, I want to hear them talk about the Takamichi Inuka Chris Foster match because that was like one of my favorite matches on that episode.
Blue Devil himself, Taka Michinoku, finally making his Weymouth Youth Wrestling debut against Chris Foster, late of the Ascension. Oh my lord.
But what? Put a lot on the line as well.
Oh yes.
So Taka,
Nathan, if you would.
Taka was a pain in the ass. Taka Michinoku is the biggest pain he has to get in the world because there's a language barrier, which was not fun to get through. But Jim, God, he is a sport and a half.
Yeah.
Tried his best and he was able to do it. I'm so glad he did. And Taka is taking this wrestling.
No kidding.
Just so we can understand what we're saying, so that way it's not.
I mean,
awkward.
he's gotten pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say the end result is that was a fantastic match.
It was a fabulous match.
According to the review that we have so far, that's an incredible match.
It is.
It's one of the best of the night, according to some. But I disagree, in my personal opinion, as a commentator. But I will say this. Taka Michinoku is one of the greatest athletes we have seen so far.
Agreed.
He has proved himself more than anybody else.
And done it time and time again.
And he has some of the best spots so far in the night. He was able to just pop out after that ISK to the head and hits the Michinoku driver for them. It was incredible.
And, I mean, not to mention, some of the freaking ISKs he took too. The one where he was elevated up in the air and then he just clobbers him with that kick, knocking. I thought he knocked Doc out, and then he still kicked out because Foster was just like freaking out that he hit the kick and then went accuracy.
Well, if you take a look at the hit itself, you watch his leg and it slides up the chest into the chin. So it's not a full powered ISK. He hit dead in the forehead like he always hits. So really hitting the chin. So not a lot of effort was put into that kick in motion because Taka was already leaning back. So Taka was able to get out of the move and hits the Michinoku driver. So he was able to hit the full force of his move, but Chris wasn't able to hit his.
And somehow Chris still able to kick out and then hits a back suplex, and it was brutal. He hit that with pinpoint accuracy every time onto the ladder.
We also and he said, screw this and
we got to talk about how Taka had his spaceman moonsault through the table.
Yep.
To Chris Foster. We got to talk about how there was a friggin' elbow drop.
Yep.
Springboard elbow drop right through our table.
Yep.
Right where we were sitting, and holy crap, that was insane.
It was great.
By Chris Foster.
I almost got kicked in the head. It was great.
I did get Chris Foster right. I was told I got that wrong by some people.
We got to talk about.
People just stop using the friggin' table.
Nope.
Great. You just stop.
I've already asked.
Tired of these things, right?
You know what?
I'm putting a fence up.
Do you understand?
I'm putting up a fence because I feel offensed. Okay.
I feel for Nathan for a while. I mean, every time the guy every match a table gets broken and like it's just not fair. You know what's weird? Why is Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler there when I don't know what they're doing there. That's weird.
You're gonna be with us at episode 1 of round 2. Oh, great. Well, there's a spoiler for you guys.
Oh, Weymouth Youth Wrestling says it was Matt Harrington that you got one. Is this Matt Harrington? Is this Matt Harrington commenting now? I know there's like 30 guys commenting, so I don't know who's commenting.
I
What if Weymouth Youth Wrestling they should get an Instagram?
Anyway.
What if it has one?
That being besides the point, we got to talk about some of the other spots that happened in the match. That superplex into the ladder, into the ISK, and I thought he was done, but as you said, pops right back up. That's the Michinoku driver.
That's the end of that match, dude. That is the end of that match.
Absolutely, because he just dropped him right on his back of his head. Taka won. He does not have to retire, and he
it's
in round 2 to go versus
and then yeah.
Okay, so it's Jay. So it's Jay. No, it's James. Fuck's sake, Jay Hebert's side. I don't know how. I guess Jay Hebert's side invaded the Weymouth Youth Wrestling YouTube channel. I don't know what happened. And then he just said, "Good thinking, though. I'll go look into Insta." So yeah, Weymouth Youth Wrestling will be getting an Instagram account, and I'm the brainchild behind the Instagram account. I should just control the whole Instagram account and make Kurt Hawkins the Facebook, like the profile picture.
And then from behind, here comes Kuzan.
Oh, they're going to talk about this ridiculous attack. That was absolutely unprovoked, no reason for it. Taka Michinoku had already won the match, and then they go and do that crap. Actually, it's not nearly as bad as what Undisputed Era did to Aleister Black, though. What Undisputed Era was so uncalled for. Aleister Black. No, they should put Aleister Black in WYW, but they can't because he's in WWE. He's got to do the WWE bookings, but.
From Chris Foster, and then for the Brexit breaker, the Brexit breaker, a modified.
Kuzan's my least favorite wrestler in WYW. He deserves to be sent to jail for what he did.
Stretch it out of the arena.
I mean, Taka Michinoku's career may as well just be over now. I mean, he was just assaulted for no reason. I mean, Chris Foster. Taka Michinoku.
Is that Taka Michinoku?
I don't want him to after that beatdown. I want him to.
Well, I mean, he's not going to. Despite everything being told, he will be cleared to go.
No, he really shouldn't be.
Oh, dude, he got messed up.
It's absurd.
I
just think it's a total lack of respect.
A total lack of respect on the part of.
I mean, it's a lack of respect to a legend in the professional wrestling business. Taka Michinoku's accomplished a lot. He was the first and longest reigning WWF light heavyweight champion. He nearly defeated Triple H for the WWF championship. I mean, Kuzan, Chris Foster, and Matt Man. It was just unnecessary what they did. There needs to be consequences for that. I mean, Chris Foster should be suspended. Kuzan should be suspended, and Matt Man should be taken out of the tournament. That's just uncalled for. You don't just do that to a legend in the business. Taka Michinoku, they're going to get what's coming to them. I'm assuming, but Taka Michinoku, he's got to stay focused on winning that WIW World Championship. So.
And speaking of strange, another perfect segue. Thank you, Johnny Boy.
We will hold on before we get to that. Mason, what do you have to say about?
What I have to say about this group is this. What you did is a wrestling sin. Attack the legend during his comeback.
Yep.
And
after he just won a match.
You now have the entire friggin' locker room in the back.
Yep.
Not the heels, because they don't give a damn. Market and his daddy don't give a damn.
You have the entire babyface roster after
you have Michael X. You have Sean Maverick. You have some of the toughest sons of bitches coming for you. And it's going to be a really bad day when you realize you're three guys and you're going up against an army.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'm going to laugh on commentary. I'm going to laugh so friggin' hard.
London Devastation goes up to Michael X. We are our own army. We have a Maverick.
They probably do. I wouldn't doubt it.
They can have all the army that they want. They can bring all of jolly good England with them.
It's jolly old England.
Who gives a goddamn shit?
Old, new, potato. It's the same freaking thing.
Oh, I forgot that look of lucky.
Sorry, I should know. In all respect, okay, I really do love the UK fan base. I absolutely do.
I do. They're great. They're great.
Don't get me wrong.
You have three really bad people to represent your country.
Yeah. It's a bad situation for the UK fan base.
But to end that little segment off the last man. With the psycho asylum itself.
Oh boy.
Two of the craziest sons of bitches in the whole company.
Juggalo Bones and Nick Switchblade.
Yep. Bones and Nick Switchblade.
Nick Switchblade, who burnt his own damn house down, and Jay Bones, who drank a lot of Faygo.
and almost had his head caved in.
He's used to that. That part's... That's not good.
Then what makes you think he wouldn't be used to drinking a whole shit ton of Faygo?
Because if you've seen what else he drinks...
He's a friggin' juggalo.
You've seen what else he drinks. It's heavier than just Faygo.
He's an alcoholic.
Let's see. But hey, he doesn't drink on the job.
The thing is,
he doesn't drink on the job.
That's kind of hypocritical, Nathan.
No, I'm being super serious?
Yes, but you can't talk because you drink a lot too.
Hey, listen.
At least J-Bones doesn't drink on the job.
Hey, that was one time. That was one time. And probably gonna be later if I have to deal with it. And one episode, I'm gonna be so drunk, I'm gonna black out. Like,
You
I didn't see
better
the
not.
goddamn sun.
You better not.
I swear to God, they better not be on the
What?
next thing.
Did you tell me you took a shower when you saw little Andre?
No, because that was one of them. If I have to deal with two of them in one episode, I will drink so heavily and hard,
You know
my
you're
face
gonna,
will turn red.
You know you're gonna have to, right? That's what
Oh, shut up, bitch.
He might already be drunk.
No. Listen, it's only what I have to do with the Maggie Daddy man. A single shot comes out every time they cheat. Which is almost every friggin' match.
They don't cheat.
I remember really liking Nick Switchblade versus J Bones. That was a really good match. And Nick Switchblade has an awesome character. And obviously,
You know.
He's got a point.
I don't know.
You know what I mean.
But look,
These are
that's
these
beside the
four
point.
the cheapest
That's beside the
sons of
point. That's
bitches
beside the
ever.
point. That's beside the point. I get it. Anyway, J-Bones and Switchblade. Point. So,
Pain.
you want to
Pain.
talk about? Some people
Pain.
think like, oh,
Pain.
yeah, no. Some
That's
people.
the highlight reel. Pain. You'll never guess what the last one is. Pain.
Hey, everything, guy. Just every time that somebody says pain, like I just did, pain. See, I said it again. Just splice in like a moment from the match, because that's pretty much exactly. Nathan's right on the money with that. Now, see, people don't necessarily. And some people are maybe not hardcore fans, like hardcore wrestling
They
fans.
don't need to be because
Or
it's half of
some people like the technical aspect of it. Some people like the high fly. Some people like the UFC big man fight, whatever.
This is for those of you who like to let the inmates run the asylum.
This is what happens when you let that creepy internal voice that says, "Go fight the coworkers that's been making a hard voice next to you." That won't shut up because it's a fucking annoying monster. I'm kidding.
We just had Andre and oh god, what's his name? Bob Uecker moment.
Oh yeah. But to be honest about this, yeah, that's a little internal voice in your head creeping out, telling you to do really bad things. Oh, it became a match.
Not just that.
Two people with alternate lifestyles that said, "I like pain.
Let's talk about
Give
this.
me more."
Let's talk about this. People, if you do not like this match because it was very violent, squeamish may look away because it was exactly that. You had about 50 seconds of technical wrestling, and then they both just went and it's like,
Screw this.
this guy. No, J-Bones literally like looked at him and was like, this motherfucker hit me with a chair. I don't like him. And then Switchblade's like, this little boy is making a mockery out of me. I don't really like that. And then they just started to go weapons and yeah, the rest was pretty much history about that point. What was that word again? Pain.
And a whole lot of it.
There was a lot of broken.
But are we gonna talk about spots?
We don't need to just watch the match. I'm not going into that.
Yeah.
That match is just
Here,
plots.
I'll talk about the three main spots that everyone needs to see. And more pain. Well, let's talk about the main spot.
The main thing.
The main
Oh
thing.
gosh.
Let's talk about what happened here.
Yeah.
Switchblade hits the GTS, and J-Bones is done by this point. He's gonna win. There's no doubt about it that he's gonna win after all the punishment these two have dished out on each other.
So Nick Switchblade goes for the cover.
And then the lights go out.
Turnabout is fair play, Nick Switchblade.
Oh boy, it was. You just hear this laugh. You hear this.
And louder. And louder till we hear a chair shot. Ring out in the distance. And we see Nick Switchblade unconscious on the ground and go. Because I don't want that psychopath moving forward in this tournament.
Well, you trade one psychopath for another.
I can deal with an alcoholic, fago-addicted juggalo. I cannot deal with the man who cuts himself and laughs about it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I say no. No.
Yeah.
There's a difference between I'm crazy because I was in backyard wrestling matches and got hurt a lot and it was fun. There's a difference between that and I really, really, really like pain. That's where that.
I did like how the same guy, I forget his name now but screwed Nick Switchblade out of the tournament. Because Nick Switchblade got his comeuppance, and I can't wait to see those two guys go at it because they're both nuts and crazy. It's awesome.
You think? You don't say. You don't frickin' say.
So, John, you're telling me you don't do that wrestling outside your window at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes?
I thought that was just you being a bumbling idiot.
We live like 2 miles apart from each other. I'm not driving to your house to sit in the freaking bush.
Yeah, you didn't do that on New Year's Eve?
Okay, that was different. That was when we were at the same house, first off. I was plastered and I hid.
Yeah, and you fell into a bush.
Yes, and it was funny. There's a difference. That was New Year's Eve. I only get drunk on days.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
What is the
point? You guys have not seen. Nathan, come on now.
Yeah, I'm the man.
Yeah, and you're also a pain in my ass.
Good. Anyway. I'll put that as my second title. Pain in John's ass. The main man is a pain in John's ass.
Casey, help me out here, please.
Sorry, bro, I got nothing.
Oh, what do you mean you got nothing? The other wrestling encyclopedia.
I'm a wrestling encyclopedia, not a social skills encyclopedia.
I'm a doctor, Jim, not a goddamn medical surgeon.
All right. Anyway.
That was awesome.
He's a pain in John's ass.
Let me talk.
John has a stupid mustache.
It's a goat. First off, it's a goatee.
And a square box in the head.
I love that Nathan Farrar and Jonathan Cato are just going after each other. This is awesome.
It's square, it's a circle, and a triangle. You just go, it's a hat.
Maybe if we were on Lilliput, but fine.
If you haven't seen the Gold Rush tournament,
watch it, because it's great.
From match 1 all the way up to match 12, it is a must-see.
If you don't watch it, Nick Switchblade will also hide outside your window at 2 o'clock in the morning, shaking the bushes and laughing. Hopefully he's just shaking the bushes.
Sure.
Anyway.
Thanks a lot, bro. I'm going to have nightmares for 2 weeks.
Well, he is your worst nightmare. Hey.
You see him inside the psycho asylum. Every time he goes to the asylum.
Yeah, because he ain't always there.
No, he's not. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get on to the matches that are left. We got 4 matches left. Mark Young versus Chris Dodd.
Yep.
Yep, Nathan, yep.
One shot.
So now they're going to do predictions to the last 4 matches in the tournament. I can't believe it's only 4 matches left, but seems like it just kind of it just kind of breezed right through. So now they're going to do their predictions, and I'm going to do mine after they say theirs. About who I think is going to win each match in the tournament. So I just want to make sure I mention that.
No, don't, no.
Hey, that's light compared to what I'm going to do.
All right,
there's 2 of them.
Well, I mean, then you have Dave Foley and Jason G.
Oh boy, that's going to be good. Oh man.
And then we have Kyle Weaver versus Owen Finch.
Oh boy.
Owen Finch is a great talent right there.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's going to be a great highlight.
And this is taking place in Orlando.
This is taking place in Orlando.
Kyle Weaver is going to have the crowd on his side. And
no, he's not. The fans know who the true talent is, and that's Owen Finch.
What? They say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. We got a bird in the ring, so there's gonna be 2 in the bush somewhere.
What's the push gonna be? A ladder?
Yes, probably. High flyers using ladders? Man, don't tease it.
Anyway, and then the final match. Oh god, here comes the shot. Corey Dangerous versus John Gray.
Oh, fuck this.
And then John, just leave. He just left. Well, let me go talk to him. Well, I guess I'm by myself now.
Jonathan Cato running solo.
Gentlemen,
All right, I'm back.
okay, we finally got that settled.
I'm back.
This is getting.
Back. Are you? Please tell me you're all right.
I'm fine.
Yes.
I really don't want to think about this friggin' episode.
Cashin is have no clue to say this name. Cashin Secuse asks, "Is this autism hour?" I know this is supposed to be an insult, but ironically enough, this person's not one. This kind of is the rest of the stream kind of turned into autism hour because so he's actually this person's actually not one. So it hasn't gone on for an hour, but I don't know. Like this podcast did go into autism hour, so I can't deny it.
If both of these men move up in the tournament, one of them I can deal with. Both of them, I'm gonna get so hammered, people are gonna call me. I'm not even kidding.
And Weymouth Youth Wrestling just said yes with a bunch of laughing faces. I don't know which guy that is. I don't know if it's the same guy, but.
Who do you guys think is going to win? I sure as hell hope Mark Young and Corey Dangerous are not moving on.
I hope the same.
Well, let's go one by one.
Watch if I'm super long, like I was last.
We're gonna predict, in a bit of a different way. We're gonna predict, but you're gonna say we're gonna go with. Are they gonna win by pinfall? Or are they gonna win by submission? So first match off, who do you think is gonna win and why? Oh, Chris Dodd by submission. Chris Dodd by submission. What about you?
Chris Dodd by hopefully.
For me, and I trust me, I don't like him any more than you. But yeah, no, I gotta go with him. I gotta go with Mark.
Suck.
And I gotta go with by submission.
Oh, you suck.
All right, so I'm gonna do my predict. Weymouth Youth Wrestling just said it is autism hour. Well, so even the company is admitting that it was autism hour because the podcast turned into autism hour. But anyhow, I'm gonna give my predictions to Mark Young versus Chris Dodd. One thing I'm happy about with this next episode of WIW is I'm not gonna mess up any names because every name's literally like easy for me to say. They're actually like, normal names, so I'm happy about that. So I won't get any corrections about that, but watch, it's probably going to happen somehow, some way. There's going to be someone that gets thrown out there that's name I'm going to mess up, and then I'll get flack for that. But yeah, so I guess I'll do the same thing. I'll predict who's going to win the match and how they're going to win the match, which I kind of like how they're doing that. They're not just saying how the guy's going to win. So for Mark Young versus Chris Dodd, I'm going to pick that Chris Dodd's going to win because he's the franchise of WIW, and I don't see the franchise of WIW getting eliminated in the first round. That would be stupid. How he wins, I'm going to say by pinfall. Since everyone else said by submission, I'll be different and say by pinfall.
No.
Listen. I'll lose on that one. I know I will. I friggin' know I'm gonna lose this bet. Watch.
Well, you never know. I could be the one.
Every time I put down these Maggie Daddy bastards, they always friggin' win.
Well, we'll see.
It's
We'll
ridiculous.
see. Maybe that won't be the case. It's gonna happen. Maybe that won't be the case. We'll see.
Hey, John. First of all, Murphy's a friggin' dick. So don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, he is.
Now we're talking about Murphy, the scientist, or Eddie Murphy?
No. You're familiar with Murphy's Law?
Yes.
Yeah, Murphy's a dick.
Oh, I thought it was.
So is Karma. That's just that.
Hopefully she will be in the Maggie Daddy Man's case.
Oh gosh. Well, there goes getting Karma to have a join our organization. Oh, okay. Hey.
Oh, thank you.
Eddie.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, she is pretty brutal. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I mean,
That's the one way she is pretty.
okay. Anyway,
Fetishes aside.
no.
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 Go away.
No. Anyway.
You think that should be on the Empire State Building? Go away.
All right, stop.
Okay.
We're not talking about XTNA. We're not talking about XTNA people.
AKA DOA.
Yes. We're talking about them.
Dead on arrival.
Yes. It's the same thing.
No, I guess they were right for once. Just watching it is like being dead on arrival.
Anyway. Who do you think is going to win against with Jason G and Dave Foley?
I'm gonna have to go Dave. He's got the family influence on that one, and he's got the heart, man. Jason's got a coconut head. That's about it.
And honestly, the coconut head is kind of why I have to go with Jason G.
Do you really? All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think that? Well, first off, Nathan, do you think that Dave Foley is going to win by pinfall or submission?
I'm gonna say pinfall. I feel like he's gonna get a nice clean knockout.
I'm also going to say pinfall for the exact same reason. But as much as
Jason G.
Yeah, as much as I respect Dave Foley and what he brings to the table, I really got to go with Jason G. Admittedly, partially because I'm a sucker for redemption stories, but it's got to be Jason G.
Fair enough. For me, I am also going to go with Jason G because he's just got that hollow head, man.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, he does not. And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how this goes.
Absolutely.
With Jason and Dave Foley, it's gonna be a clash of styles, and it's going to be two hardcore nutbags in a match together, and it's kind of a scary prospect in a way, but it's also very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. With that being said, we'll move on.
Okay. So now I'm going to give my predictions to the next match. Dave Foley versus Jason G. So yeah, I'll predict who's going to win and how that person's going to win. I don't really know anything about any of these guys because I haven't seen any of their work. So it's kind of tough for me to predict. But I'm going to go... I'll just go Dave Foley. Just because why not? And how he wins, probably by pinfall. Why not? I don't. That one's a tough match for me to predict because I don't know any of the guys. So
Another phone call, dude.
who keeps?
Tell him to piss off.
I can't, dude.
Why is Nathan Farrell getting another phone call? Come on, silence your phone when you do these podcasts.
That being said, I guess you're right for me and Marcus moving out to the tournament. What, you really think that? Oh, get out of here.
Whoa, Mike X, easy.
Mike X.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, my boy Jonzo just got mugged by Michael X. What the hell?
Nathan, Michael, can you calm him down?
Dude, Michael X just came into the car and almost mugged Johnny.
What did you say to him?
We didn't say a word. What the hell?
Apparently he overheard that I picked Mark.
choice.
I know. I'm just,
What was that?
I don't want him to
I
win.
think he thinks you're being a predick right now for making that choice, but I'll talk
That was
to you
cool.
later.
Please do. We would prefer to have our commentary team intact for January 10th. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right? I'm dying. I'm scared.
Almost died from a nasty man.
Jonathan Cato almost like
I
got.
don't want him angry at me.
Jesus.
Scary. Dude, he put James on Angel through a freaking ladder. I don't want that to be me.
There's three guys in this business who don't want angry at you. Sean Maverick, Michael X, and friggin'
Cornet.
yes, thank you.
Specifically Jim, because he will not give you a business.
Anyway.
I'll talk to Jim about it.
Yeah, please.
That was really
Please
cool.
don't need him beating me
I didn't
up.
expect that at all.
I don't have to worry about it. I think it's really going to annoy me. What do you mean? What do you mean you had a very bad day on Michael X making a prediction against him? That's not cool!
Oh,
Fucking
thanks.
idiot.
Thanks. I'm not going to get anyone on my side on that.
You
Anyway,
might. I'll just talk to him.
so that being said, next match: Kyle Weaver versus Owen Finch. Who do you guys got and why?
I'm going Kyle. I'm going with the ultimate underdog, man. This guy, come on. Look how many matches this guy already has under his belt.
Yes, but Owen has gone through the same trials and tribulations that
But Owen hasn't
Kyle
had to be in a three and a triple threat, should I say. A triple threat.
Table from Hell match where he
And has survived against the same two guys that already had a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
what the hell?
there's this thing, it's like a scale. Kyle's kind of up there.
Well, I'm going to go with Owen. And the reason I'm going with Owen is because of one thing and one thing only.
And that is?
He has got Birdman Clash. And
That is a devastating maneuver.
is a very devastating maneuver. Obviously, people know it in other parts as the Styles Clash.
I don't disagree.
Or the Landing Clash, if you want to get technical with it. But Owen calls it the Birdman Clash. And it is a very devastating maneuver to be used. So, that being said, I think it's going to knock Kyle out. And I think he's going to get the pinfall victory.
I think Kyle's going to get the pinfall victory.
Fair enough. They're both just as equal.
Oh, absolutely.
Them as a team would be fantastic.
It would be awesome. Be absolutely awesome. Now to throw my 2 cents in there, I honestly believe Kyle's gonna get the pinfall victory, but not because of the Dynamite Destroyer. That man is one creative son of a bitch. And more often than not, in Extreme Rules matches, especially when it falls count anywhere, it's the most creative and stamina-based wrestler competitor that is going to get the victory. We have seen Kyle in some pretty extreme situations. You already mentioned the triple threat table from Hell match.
We can talk also about the 6-man ladder match. Where
Yes.
he just kept jumping off everything.
Yes,
With agony.
absolutely. This is one creative son of a buck. He really, I honestly think that is going to come into play. Yeah, I honestly think creativity is going to win this match for Kyle Weaver.
I think creativity could win it for Owen Finch.
Now, I'm going to say this for the next match. I don't have a problem.
Now you say Young Buck.
Okay, I like what they did there when they just said Young Buck. That was kind of a, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but Nathan Fawal and Casey Gallagher, I don't know. Depends. It's spelled the same way as Jack Gallagher is spelled, so I don't know how he pronounces his last name. Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves for not picking Owen Finch. Owen Finch is like one of the all-time greatest professional wrestlers in the world, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Owen Finch is gonna win. I think how he's gonna win. This isn't even gonna make any sense, but because Owen Finch is such a great professional wrestler, he can make it work. He's gonna hit. He's gonna go for like a Hurricanrana off a ladder. Well, no, like a sunset flip off a ladder, but then turn it into the Birdman Clash off the ladder onto the floor and pin Kyle Weaver that way. So that will be the finish of the matchup, and the match will last 35 seconds.
Or son of a buck. Does that mean he's son of Max Buck or Jeremy Buck?
He's a comic.
Joe Buck.
He's just a buck.
It's Joe Buck.
Buck Wild.
And on that note, moving right along. John, are you okay?
God, I forgot about him.
Oh, he's so funny too. Oh, that's fucking great. Anyway,
Moving right along. Oh, that's great.
So, you gotta talk about the last one.
Okay.
And for first, now I'll say this right now because everyone will say, "Well, you just said all that anyway." No, I enjoy Little Andre and I enjoy Corey. I hate that they have to team up with Mark.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Because they would be so good by themselves, and they have to go with this one guy that's just a mockery to the sport.
Yeah.
Who's gonna?
Let's make them.
I'm gonna make a bet right now. He's not gonna win a single match in this entire tournament by himself, or he's not gonna win one of his matches by himself in the tournament.
We'll see.
Because
We'll
know
see.
him. You know how he is. He cannot win by a fair shot. He has to find some cheap method of getting ahead in the game.
We'll see.
Yes, we
We'll
will.
see.
Yes, we will.
I mean, even Corey beat him, actually. I think about it now. It's back at the match between Mark and Corey, which kind of started that partnership up in a way. Test match 4.
And to be fair, it was a great match.
And Corey beat him.
But
I want to point that out. Corey actually beat Mark Young. So, I don't know. And if, just on the off chance, and I'm not, this is a hypothetical before we actually predict. On the off chance that they actually do advance, what if it's between the two of them? Corey ain't gonna lay down for him.
well, hell no.
Absolutely.
He hasn't yet. But the end result
And I don't
is
expect
this.
that he will.
The end result is this. Corey has a match ahead.
Oh boy.
Corey has a match ahead.
And it's with John Gray.
He has to fight a guy who absolutely is this. More than me. More than me. I have not, listen, I may talk a lot of crap behind commentary, but I have not made any physical stride to hurt these guys.
I mean,
This man does
Michael X might be the one that does more damage. I mean, that would want to do more damage. He probably hates him more than John Gray does. But John, man, has taken some extreme measures.
Muscle, and he has taken out the brain in one night. In one night, he was able to beat two guys
Before
the
test match, before test match 14 started. John Gray did not show up, and everyone thought that he just no-showed.
They thought he was a bitch.
And
Wow,
and the thing is, John has done that before.
Sneaky little bitch.
From time to time again. This was back when he had problems.
Yes.
You know, with stuff in his life. I won't mention in detail, but he's over that now. That's what we thought happened. But no. Next thing we see. The next thing we see.
Little Andre's on the cell, talking to Mark, and he's ready to go. I was waiting to look at the scene and they somehow stole.
I don't know if they're still or not, but whatever. They have a limousine. And the next thing you know,
we see big John Gray in a farting monster truck come out of goddamn nowhere and crush Mark inside of the limo. We thought Mark was dead. He gets out of the truck and starts beating the holy hell out of little Andre.
all the way to the ring.
All the way to the ring.
By this point,
damn.
when they're making their way to the ring, Mark Young literally
He
climbs out of the limousine, the crushed limousine, out in the heat. And then John Gray and Little Andre are supposed to have the first ever cell block match. And he's trying to trap Little Andre's head as the cage is coming down.
He's going to kill him.
This guy was incensed on destroying these guys. And Corey wasn't there that night, but I'm sure if he was there, he would not be spared.
He was so damn lucky.
And need I remind the times that John Gray went right after Corey Dangerous in the 6-man ladder match.
You know what's ironic too? You know what friggin' sign Joe was playing in his car before?
Who was it?
The cheese thing.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
remind me not to screw with this man.
What you got?
God, breaking the law, breaking the law.
No, it's not that. No, it's the cheers thing.
I know. But
Sometimes you gotta go.
all right.
Everybody knows your
Stop.
name. Bum.
No, I know. You stop it. I can't look at that song the same anymore. Stop.
Everybody knows your name.
Nathan Floss, awesome.
God. Anyway, Corey Andrews, John Gray. Who do you guys got more?
In what method?
Probably submission.
I'm also going to say Corey, but via pinfall.
I'm very shocked there. Because I'm going to go with John Gray.
John's great, but Corey's just. Do I have to remind anybody of Test Match 17?
I want to say John Gray. And I'm going to go with John Gray.
I don't blame you.
He was this dude. And here's the two reasons why.
Besides the cheers.
Just shut up.
That's great.
John Gray hates the Maggie Daddy Men, thus hating Corey. And that's not good for Corey.
No,
That
it's not.
being said, oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
it's not going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be fun to
And
watch.
the
But it's
second
not going to be
reason,
fun to be in that match.
and the second reason being the Winchester rifle.
That's a deadly ass move.
That
Spear comes out of
that is scary.
nowhere.
He lifts. He can lift people up with that.
He tosses people in the air like they're rag dolls and makes them straight to the ground.
And I remember Andre goes to the top of the cell block match. He's about to win the match, and then John Gray just destroys him out of the air with the Winchester rifle. And it was the first time that move was ever unveiled, and wins the match.
It was insane. The way he hit that, the exact timing was incredible. But the big issue that I see is the dangerous, the scary for him.
Oh
Because
God.
of the elevation, the amount of time you're hanging, being able to walk.
It's very true. Both of these men have some very deadly finishers.
Corey has-
Gunslinger being one of them for John, Winchester rifle being another, and also we can't forget about that Peacemaker DDT.
But you're forgetting about Corey's infamous low blow.
And his, I trust me, I
Dangerous
agree.
DDT.
Corey has
dangerous uppercut.
Corey has put men out for months with both of those moves.
Yeah.
Now,
Very
we're
true.
not just talking about WWE. We're talking about all over the world.
Yes.
This guy,
Yeah.
when he hits his version of the DDT, he's done it from the table. He's done it to a ladder. He has done it from the top of a ladder.
Yes.
I have
Which is
literally-
banned in WIW because that would physically kill somebody.
I have seen
From the
him.
angle that he drops, it's like a missile. It's insane.
I have seen him hit that dangerous uppercut on the rest of the indie scene, and I have seen
The angle.
6 foot. I have seen 6'8", 350-pound giants crumble to this move.
Yeah.
It is deadly.
It is a very deadly move. You're not wrong. I agree with everything that you guys are saying, but I think John's gonna take it. I think he's
There's only one way to tell it. Sit down and commentate that.
Absolutely.
it's gotta be.
And admittedly, I do hope that John wins, but I gotta go with Corey.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We
Yes,
will.
we will. Yes, we will.
That being said, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the WIW podcast, hosted by Casey Gallagher. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for joining me.
We will be coming back in a moment.
All right, so well, actually, I'll let this finish out.
Momentarily after this commercial break, we will be going over when we return. Markiplier, his long-awaited debut. We will be talking about the female tournament that is going to be happening at Round 1, Episode 2. And last but certainly not least, we will be talking about a future match planned for our event Gold Rush and Gold Rush in general, which we will be talking about on this very podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, now that it's on commercial break, I can give my predictions for the final Gold Rush tournament match. Corey Dangerously versus John Gray. I'm going to say Corey Dangerously wins. It just sounds like, from what it sounds like he's just going to win. And I'll just say that match will end by submission. I don't really know anything about it. I've seen Corey Dangerously wrestle a few times, but not a lot. I guess I saw him wrestle once. But I saw him wrestle at Test Match 4, but it's been so long since I've seen Test Match 4. But I'm going to say Corey Dangerously is going to win. But yeah, I do. Overall, this podcast has been pretty enjoyable. And now I'm kind of excited to see, that they have a plan after this tournament. I'm pretty excited about that. Seems like they have. But let's see what this plan is. Right now, it's just taking a commercial. Hopefully, I don't get copyrighted because of this commercial. But yeah, I'm actually watching this episode. It's making me pretty excited for watch episode 4 of Weymouth Youth Wrestling. I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't wait to hear what it's going to happen. I can't wait to see all these matches. I haven't seen a lot of these guys wrestle, but these all sound like very good matches coming up in the, to end off round 1 of the tournament.
And we are back. And Massachusetts was cold. Yeah. Yes. At this point, from here, we are going to be talking about the long-awaited question of will we have a female tournament?
Yes. The answer is yes.
It's happening. We are. Don't worry, perverts. We're doing it. Hey. No, I'm just putting it out there because it only started when we were able to gain a male following instead of the multicultural following. We got the following. It's kind of been a pain in the ass, but we were able to do it. We found a lot of dealers, a lot of independent contractors that were able to sign up. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
Great.
All right. So what do we got?
So these are all going to be members that will be coming in. We're going to be talking about them one by one. Yep. The first match is going to be. They're all triple threat matches the first round. I just want to point that out there, everyone. It's going to be Colleen Horizon versus Breezy Bree versus Vamp Candy. Now, we're going to go down each individual person, and we're going to talk about them.
And this is where you boys can do your thing, because I know next to nothing about these ladies.
Colleen Horizon, being a rocker chick, really wanted to be a part of something big and phenomenal.
So why did she start dating AJ Styles?
Because that's small and hairy. Wow. You're just taking shots at everybody tonight, aren't you? Shots. Yeah. Everybody! Because the shits I give, dude, are very low. What are they going to do? Come out to Massachusetts and beat me up?
Who knows? They might.
Right ahead. They might. Anyway. Colleen Horizon. She's great. She's awesome. Started her wrestling career not even a year ago. And she has very innovative offense. Yes. She's very interesting to watch. Yes. It's going to be a lot of fun to put up on screen and show what she can do. Especially in front of a mass audience. A lot of fun. I hope everybody enjoys it. She's a sweetheart. It's great. Yes, she is. She's really bad at scheduling, but she's a sweetheart. Yeah, sure. Anyway, Breezy Bree, she is a MC that is now a wrestler and also started, I would say, around the same time frame, maybe a month off. And she's also very interesting to watch in that ring. The girl who was told she would never make it in the MC world, she did. And they were telling her she would never even make it in the pro wrestling world, and now she's in WWIW. And it's going to be very interesting to see how those clash of cultures and also clash of styles are going to fight in the ring.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun to see a nice mix-up for once.
Especially when you throw this third lady into the mix.
So, we talked about
Johnny, tell us about her.
Well, Fan Candy is a wild card, and I mean that with all due respect to Ian Lancaster.
But she is, you know,
little screws.
definitely mixed style girl.
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, she can get brutal when it calls for.
When the chips are down and everyone's out, she pulls on a chair and beats everybody. That's the only way that I can put that.
Yeah.
You don't have ruffles? You bastard!
Oh boy.
Why do I feel like that actually happened?
More like you forgot to buy chips. No, I sent you to the chip store to buy the chips. I guess it was a chip store, why not? She will then pick up the nearest object and beat you with it until you are a bloody mess on the ground, and then ask you, why are you a bloody mess on the ground? Did you learn something?
Yeah, I learned. Well, I don't want to say what I actually learned.
I learned that I need to buy chips so you don't beat the shit out of me. And then this is a nice clash of styles.
It's going to be a very interesting match. All of these, obviously, Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere, but in elimination style, Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere. So
just because we like
it's a three-way.
So I'm gonna predict that I don't even remember the girl's name, but we have all those three women in the match. I'm gonna predict that the one that got mad that that's nuts will win that match. But yeah, I like the fact that I'll actually give my thoughts on the women's tournament when they break down all the matches and stuff. But yeah.
Dance kind of scenario, which is going to be very interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting to see people like not try to stop pinfalls.
Yeah.
Wait, don't want to stop that one because you gotta stay in there. That's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay, next match.
That being said, we go to the next match, which is, oh man, this is going to be one where there's a lot of bad blood.
My relationship with my mother.
I don't think we want to go there, Nate.
I think I kind of did.
Can we not? Can we just pretend that never happened?
I love these one-liners by Nathan Fuwa. They're awesome.
Bad blood here. Rachel Stump versus Brittany Rochelle versus Joanna Ramos.
I have no comment for
So first off, Rachel. Oh boy.
Can't wait to see what he says about Brittany Rochelle.
She's friendly with me. God, she is. A lot of people do not like her. And she is when it's time to go and she wants something, she will win by any means.
Gotta take a commercial break, apparently. Okay, my apologies. I had to do something real quick, so I just want to finish this because I only have Weymouth Youth Wrestling just commented well shit because I think he realized I had to leave. So yeah, I had to go do something real quick. But anyhow, let me just finish this because it's did I?
These two do not like each other. Obviously, flat out, they do not like each other. They've hated each other.
Now I gotta take a phone call.
We won't
Weymouth Youth Wrestling called and told me that Owen Finch isn't the best wrestler in the world, apparently. But that's just me.
There's some bad.
I'm gonna turn this up a bit.
And they have competed for titles in the past, and they will be competing for another opportunity at a title again. And Joanna Ramos, who has had a blood feud with Brittany Groeschel, and also got screwed out by Rachel in Shining.
I think everybody's got a blood feud with Brittany Groeschel.
Oh boy, this is going to be a very, very interesting match, and probably one of the more brutal matches because of all the bad blood.
I agree.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting scenario. So, guys, definitely keep it out. Look out for that. Next match is going to be
Rachel wins. Anybody but Brittany Groeschel.
A mat technician versus a brawler versus a mixed bag of the two. Liz Gray, Deanna Tommaso, and Rebecca Rose. This is going to be different here.
It's going to be interesting.
We know Lizzie Gray's winning. Don't even try to fake it. We know Lizzie Gray's winning. I won't get into the reason why, but she's winning. We know she's winning.
To be able to walk again. And a lot of people didn't think she would be able to do that. She did. Now she's wrestling. And she's a damn good one at that. Very technical, very ground-bound, but also can go into the air when needed. So it's going to be a very different kind of wrestling.
Would you say it would be
interesting? It will be interesting. Deanna Tommaso, a former MMA fighter, a former boxer.
Yes.
A great, how would you say?
She's great.
She's great at what she does, which is basically punching your face in until there was no teeth.
Okay, hopefully it's not my face.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit in the face.
Yeah, you kind of need those teeth.
But she's going to play a very pivotal factor in this match. And Rebecca Rose, the suplex queen, I would call her, knows how to do, and she does these suplexes in trios and calls them, as she calls them, the Rose Battles. She does them in fisherman style.
She does know that roses have more than 3 petals, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope so.
But
because that will be really awkward.
She does do 6 of them at a time, usually, just in different variations. I have seen her do them in fisherman style, into regular style. I have seen her do regular style into German style, and then I've seen her do one of those regular 3, and then all 3 at once right after that. So she always hits them in 6s, which is going to be a very interesting thing to see in this match. We'll see how she works with this.
Damn it. Hold on, I gotta take a commercial break because my Okay, technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Let me get back to this. I only have 10 minutes left.
You can cut this.
No, I'm not cutting this. Too late now. We haven't had these women assigned for a cup of coffee, and you're already making these innuendos. Really?
Dude, you have no idea what my man is. No, you can honestly cut this.
Nathan Fillion is awesome. Commentator of the year. He should be
Why? That's so fucked up.
If you're not doing a year-end awards, Nathan Fillion should be voted like one of the best commentators of the year. He's funny.
No, but seriously, no.
Fine.
I'm just fucking helping you out, okay? I only said it because, God, you made it so fucking... Anyway, here's your
That being said,
Move on to the last match.
Oh, there's only 4
this
matches.
is going to be a very interesting match. The twins, or not really twins, but sisters, Jen Vasile and Alicia Vasile,
who are going up against...
Ira McGarden.
So, Michael Alexis.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
The fuck?
Yeah, right?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Michael X's fiance wins because if she's anything like Michael X,
at the same time, these two ladies that she's fighting up against may double team her. They've been women's tag team champions all over the world. And that is going to play a very pivotal role. Because once they eliminate her, it's down to those two. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. So if Vera has a shot, she has to eliminate at least one of those women. And it's going to be interesting. If Vera McGarden, fiance Michael X, used to train in Japanese dojos all over the world. And she is a force to be reckoned with in this ring. And for those who have not seen her, you are going to. And you are going to be shocked. With that being said, that is what is to look forward to in the future in WIW Round 2, Episode 1. Also, Casey, if you could make the announcement of...
So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the women's tournament. I like how the women's tournament's different than the males one, even though I could say like that's sexist. But the women's tournament, you know, I like... Because if it was the same thing, it would be kind of rehash, recycle, repeat. I like how it's triple threat matches, and I'm assuming after the triple threats they go into like one-on-one matches. I think that's unique. I don't really think I've ever seen something done like that before in a tournament, so that's really cool. But there's more to come. Let's see what else is to be announced.
A certain debut.
Oh, yes. You have been waiting and watching for...
The videos are finally going to be 1080p.
Well, that too. But, God, y'all have waited, what, 2 years for this? To see this happen? Finally, January 10th, Episode 1 of Round 2 airs. A certain Mark Edward Fishbach, Markiplier himself, finally makes his debut as the co-general manager of Weymouth Youth Wrestling. What can we expect from the man with the pink mustache?
Probably a Let's Play.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing...
I would pay money to see him do a Let's Play in the middle of the ring.
That would be amazing.
I would pay money for this.
I did kind of like the tie-in because WIW is a CAW league, Markiplier's, you know.
Came in because he thinks this is a really interesting project. I think he wants to see it through. And I think he's going to take this very seriously.
I hope he does. I mean, those of you who don't know, Markiplier actually did some wrestling of his own back in his high school days.
Yeah, top of his class in Ohio State.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting. Going to be interesting to see what Markiplier brings to the table alongside Jim Cornette. It's going to be a clash, kind of, because out of all people that Jim Cornette decided to pick, it was honestly a polar opposite to work with him. And maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know, but...
Different view upon things, if you will.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
Sort of like what Paul Heyman was to Vince McMahon when he first came into WWE.
Yeah,
They both worked in wrestling.
it's very true. This is a whole different thing. I mean,
It's completely...
Mark has done some amateur wrestling, but he's never really
Yeah,
worked
never
in
turned
pro wrestling. So this is going to be...
He's never really stepped in the square circle.
So we're going to see circle square. we're gonna see some different viewpoints, really, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what goes on.
Very interesting. I'm gonna be watching for sure.
Yeah, well, you have to. You're gonna be commentating with us.
Oh shit, he's commentating on us.
If you not remember.
I thought that was I'm kidding. I thought that was a joke.
Honestly, I thought I did too. And then I got the call from Jimbo that, hey, we're gonna have you in on the announce table. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I get to work with these two bozos?
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
Oh, welcome to the commentary team. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Yes.
Hopefully I got some shit.
So
I'm gonna need some beer myself.
Casey Gallagher is the third commentator.
In my entire life, Mike's not limited. I'm the only one that's ever did.
No, it's just the fact
No,
that
I can hold my liquor.
no, it's fine.
I can hold my liquor.
It's just the fact that you're a giant goatee pussy. So
Oh, fuck off.
I'm kidding.
Easy, bro.
I'm just
Easy.
balls. That's what I get paid to do.
Let the man have his mics.
No. Because we already have one in the company. I'm not putting any fucking more mics in the company. One and done.
Well, I mean, there might be one other way, but I won't.
No! I told you no! I have enough
Okay.
problems with people with the same fucking names. I'm not doing this again.
Is that why you don't like all the Chris's?
Yeah, there's so many fucking Chris's.
I know.
Where
So
do
much
they
for.
come from?
I mean, Chris is
Where do they
being
come from?
popular
Where do they
name.
go? Where do they come from, Con Eye Joe? Jesus Christ.
Chris and I, Joe. Oh, God.
Okay. So much for a 1 C limit. Anyway.
With that being said, the final thing we want to reveal is that this tournament,
It's gonna be a pain in the ass.
what, the women's?
In general.
But it's going to be fun to see.
Yes, absolutely.
And then it will go to the semifinals. And then the male semifinals is going to happen on the same night. And a mini tournament for the tag team titles will happen on this night. Which leads me to my next announcement.
We have a tag team tournament.
And this is obviously, Casey and I kind of make that announcements. Yeah, no kidding. Tag team tournament. I just made that announcement. We are having our first ever event, mega event, first ever time. Gold Rush, the pay-per-view, the mega event, will be happening.
Where? Say it.
It's going to be going back to TD Garden. And there will be 6 matches on the card for sure. And already it will be the semifinals, whoever advances to the semifinals.
So both the male and the female.
Yep. And the tag team mini tournament. On top of a possible novelty attraction. So card is subject to change, obviously, but it's not really changing. It's
We're
more
going to
being
Boston,
added.
baby. We're going back to Boston.
It's
We're
gonna be-
shipping up to Boston.
Whoa!
We're shipping out.
Divide my leg! Boy. Any of you listening to this at home, turn it way up. And also, Luke Go Lucky, shout out. Anyway, that being said, I think that's really all we have to cover on this edition of the WYW podcast. I hope you all enjoyed the first ever edition. God knows I certainly did. What about you, Nathan? How did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to do more because we get to chill out and talk about wrestling, not worry about alternate companies or all that other alternate companies.
I agree.
And alternate companies. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the main man, Nathan Farrar. I'm here with my good buddy, Jonathan Caterer, the Mike himself. And of course, we got the Wrestling Encyclopedia.
Yes, I am the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this inaugural edition of the Weymouth Youth Wrestling Podcast. Signing off for Jonathan Caterer and the main man, Nathan Farrar.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we're shipping up to Boston! Whoa! We're shipping up to Boston!
Say
so much for listening, and so long from the Bay States.
Now that's pretty much the podcast. I did like the ending. That was really awesome. Let's let this podcast end. So that was the first ever Weymouth Youth Wrestling Installment podcast live reactions. Overall, I enjoyed that podcast. I thought it was very effective. It announced future events. I thought Nathan Farrar was awesome on the podcast. I thought Jonathan Cato was really good. Obviously, Casey Gallagher was really good. I think they're going to be a very good team up. And, they announced several things to come for the tournament. They announced that a big pay-per-view coming up. They didn't really say when it was, but they announced, matches for it. Like they're going to have the semifinals for the WIW Gold Rush tournament and the women's tournament. They announced the tag team tournament. They announced some special attraction matches. They announced the debut of Markiplier. It's going to be interesting to see how Jim Cornette and Markiplier work together. They also announced something else on here. I thought the podcast too was very informative. Like I said, they explained pretty much everything. There's like pretty much no holes, so they explained everything. They explained everything from the first round thus far. They gave their predictions for episode 4, and it helped me kind of hype me up want to see episode 4 and watch WIW for the future. They at least have somewhat of a plan, and I liked it. I actually, obviously, you could tell I had concerns that this thing was 2 hours, but at least it was actually an effective 2 hours. I didn't get bored watching it or anything. It was very fun to watch all throughout, and that's really all I have to say. I don't really have anything left to say really about this podcast. I'm just going to pretty much sign off. As for when the live reactions for episode 4, because it's already currently up right now, was actually going to come out, I'm probably going to do that tomorrow at some point, either in the morning or at some other point. So make sure. So that's going to be fun to watch. I already did my predictions, but I'll do my predictions too throughout the live reactions. And that's pretty much it, guys. I don't really have anything left to say. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Get the name of WIW spread out there. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video on this channel, you guys will get the notifications for it. Please make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and Owen the Talking 80 YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.